All right, bet. All right.
Let me
Let
break
me
this
pull
right
up
here.
this. Bam. Dude, I'm getting flashbang too, Ray. Wow. See me?
Bro, it's just do you have a window in your My window is like literally right behind my monitors, and if the sun starts like it's cloudy right now, so if
Yeah.
the sun kind of peeks through the clouds, I just get flashbanged.
I just get flashbang by the CDL website because there's no dark mode option.
Just
But
go
all
to
right.
breaking point. Just use a breaking point.
We got a lot to talk about, fellas. Might as well just start the podcast now. Appreciate you guys waiting for us. So last week, and I tweeted you guys about 4 times throughout the weekend, just staring gifs about Toronto. Because Ben, last week we talked a little bit about Toronto. You guys were a little bullish, let's see it out, this and that. I knew there's something wrong. I want to discuss Toronto in general, everything about it. We'll get to the rumors that just released. Ray, I don't know if you saw, but Ronnie dropped an article about Toronto.
I saw on Ben's stream.
But before we get into the roster, let's just talk about the team, what was wrong with it, and why do we think that they got to a point where they have to change the team. And Ben, how about you kick this one off with the Toronto situation? Kind of why you thought they would stick, and now we're at this point. What's going on?
I think with Toronto, when they initially made these moves, we're like, okay, I think, last year they didn't get consistent performances out of Ben Beans. We know what Jamie brings, and we know that Toby and Joe were consistently pretty good sub duo. And they spent the whole year last year getting top 3, top 4, being good but not great. And obviously they had a chance with the Merc thing, but that was not really realistic once he played well. So their offseason was like, look, let's go get Real. Let's try to put one of our subs on the flex. We committed by AR around Jamie, who's a good search player, and this will give us the edge. The problem is that coming to the season, the way they played in stage 1 is they just didn't play good team ball. This is a game where, as I know Ray has discussed time and time again, in particular on the show, that there's a game about making quick decisions together and doing the same thing and playing as a unit, forcing trades, and not exactly just playing hero solo fucking plays. And the problem with a Real style player paired with Toby and Joe is oftentimes, especially in S&D, he's just kind of lurking, and the lurk plays really weren't working. And
at all.
I think, unfortunately, this weekend, it seemed like, maybe, like that first series they played this weekend was big, but by the time they got slammed in that one, they ended up playing this phase series. They just looked like a dead team. They just, the teamwork wasn't there. So I'm not surprised they made the change, but if you look at any metrics, efficiency metrics, like their team ball is just not, and even the eye test, bro, their team ball is not good.
No, it's bad. So for you, Ray, kind of the same question, but I guess it's weird when you look at a team like this. I thought they should change, but when you really just look at the roster, it's so stacked. In your mind, as a guy who was a coach of a team, you look at this talented roster, you think you'd be able to figure it out. What do you think the issue is?
Yeah, it's tough. I think Ben kind of covered most of the good points. I think what we need to also remember, a lot of people are going to talk about the role thing with Kleenex. Kleenex played the same role at the end of last year when they picked up Abe.
Yeah,
and
they were
arguably they were. I mean, they were literally around 11 against us to make in the finals.
Yeah,
or we can't just say that team isn't. We can't say he's not capable of playing that role. I think again, the game this year is similar to last year's. The fundamentals and strategic efficiency, what you're trying to accomplish on the map, is very similar to what it was last year. If anything, it might be a little bit quicker this year because of the movement and wall bouncing and kind of getting in people's faces much easier. The maps are also generally, I would say, half of the maps are probably smaller too. So you need pace. You really need pace. And I'm not saying there's not moments where they don't bring pace. I just think holistically as a team they don't seem to consistently bring the pace. You have Joe. Joe's been dropping insane numbers. Everyone
he's crazy.
I know all the everyone talks about how good he is, and he needs to perform for his team to succeed. And you could I don't really want to drop on a narrative too much. You could argue yes and no, but at the same time, I think it's more the games where he's not doing crazy good, there's no real follow-up to his actions. That's where, to me, the lacking aspect of where this team has struggled. Is just you need that kind of team aspect to move forward, not just a few guys.
I agree with you. And, wait, go ahead.
I'm actually somewhat surprised they didn't performance search. I thought like Real was pretty good at search last year. Granted, like he's the island guy, and like that's the one place where I feel like maybe there is a lack of comfort because they probably had some island players last year. Jamie likes playing passive, like that. I think that's where probably the role thing and bringing Real in maybe they didn't adapt to the best of their abilities. But I still think like bro, like there's not an ounce of me that doesn't think this roster can make it happen and compete at the highest level. Like it's just there's got to be some stuff behind the scenes that we didn't know that we don't hear. I mean, obviously we don't hear those things. We don't know how scrims are going. We don't know how the team dynamic was behind the scenes. Like there's clearly something there that didn't work out for this team not to work out.
But the only way that stuff happens, like, is if they're not playing well, right? Like winning fixes all that stuff. So like the team has just obviously just been broken. And to your point, Ray, we just talked about it. Like this game, the way it's played is like wherever the attention is, you just swarm it, right? Like it's so fast.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know Jamie, like to start off the year early on, Jamie was playing well. Like his stats are good. You know, he's put up decent numbers. But and maybe it's just where the game progresses. And I do think Real's been performing the worst. But I think there's more than it's more than just Real when you watch his team play. It could be Jamie's pace as well. That's definitely could be part of it because Joe does feel like he's kind of alone alive. He's not frying, they're not winning. And then to the search thing, if you look back to this weekend when they were playing S&D, there was one round where on exposure, Insight and Kleenex were like holding the pinch, and it was the round where I knew they were compromised. He was sniping it, and he wrapped back all the way to his team on exposure B bomb site with Kleenex on P2 tank, and they just got collapsed on and died, and Joe was last alive by generators. And I'm sitting there like, they have no confidence. And Ray, you know, because you played, when you talk about problems so much, and everybody's actively trying to not scam, and then you add that to a game like this that is so fast, like we just said, you have to all focus your attention in the same spot more oftentimes than not. You're gonna get railed, bro. Like the team is just broken.
And it's funny you bring that up because it's like one of the things that I personally worked on a lot as a coach 30 years. Like when I first joined the league, I had very similar mindset to when I played. And as the years went on, I mean, with Surge probably the most, like especially last season, like my constant chatter through anything we're learning experience, like we have to be loose, we have to make plays. You have to play to win. Like playing to win is, especially in the games these days where like challenging around the corner is way bigger advantage than holding a corner because of like the game being the way the game is. Like if you don't play with that aggressiveness and that confidence, like bro, you're just never going to be consistent. You're never going to like you're asking for the other team to make a big mistake to not beat you out. And that's such a big point now, like the confidence aspect for sure. I'm pretty sure it was probably always a thing, but it like took me a bit to kind of really realize the strength of that. And I think especially now, like I said, like the games we're playing now require that pace, and playing aggressive kind of brings that pace to a certain extent. So yeah, it's tough, man. Like am I crazy to say that Real was faster last year than he is this year?
Whoa.
No, you're not. Was he not banging stuff out last year?
He was, but it was because I think, and this could be part of it, that whole team just kind of played like they were the team last year when you watched them, or you watch them on like a skyline, bro. They're flipping constantly, but it's all together. It's like we're all pushing out, and then we're all wrapping back, kind of what we just talked about. And maybe he's alone a lot more. Maybe that's part of it. This team plays a little bit more structured than the Miami team played. I mean, it'd be hard to draw like a direct comparison because there's such different teams and camps, but I think that's probably part of it, bro. Honestly,
I think the reason it didn't work is that I think Real Madrid said no, but that's a no
because he's still such a good player. Like individually, it's just weird.
Here's maybe why some of it didn't work, just from like a numbers perspective. Last year and the year before, Toronto was actually not a high rotation win percentage team. They were a good break team, but they were not a good rotation win percentage team, and they really struggled again with that this year. Although when they held, they were very efficient this split and holding. They were top 4. When they got holds, it actually executing those holds, but they were like a bottom 4, bottom 5 break team. And then in particular in S&D, they were just a scam team. They were generally near the bottom of the list in converting first bloods. They were near the bottom list in almost every statistic from a defensive standpoint in search. Like they just weren't playing their situationals and playing ahead of the game well as a team. And I feel for Real because it just didn't seem like the puzzle piece fit here. I'm not surprised that maybe they're kind of exploring other ideas.
No.
Are we not surprised by that though? Like, did this team that on paper like really look like this was going to be a I don't know if necessarily like a consistently winning team, but was going to be like maybe close to guaranteed Sunday team.
They had my favorite. It was my favorite. I said it on the first day broadcast or second day. It was my favorite roster change coming into the year. I loved
I
it
mean,
because of the
I thought it was
game.
great.
It's such a
Yeah.
good change because like you look at the team and you're like, okay, they were arguably better with Abe on the team. Rial's a much better, more world-class player than Abe, right? He's good at search. And you would think like because last year the problems they had, Ben, you mentioned the S&D problems. Go back and look at last year and what happened to them in the tail half of the season. It was the S&D for like stage 2, 3, and I think the better half of stage 4, their search completely fell off. So the search problem, I don't necessarily say is Rial, although he is the island player often. It's Toronto's approach to the game mode. Like last year in the beginning of the game, it was great. I mean, they were winning all those protocols, but you know, after that, you know, kind of tapered off. Kleenex and Joe, like unless one of them had a takeover game, they weren't winning S&D.
It just go ahead. No, go ahead, Ray.
I was going to say the only thing that changed that we haven't discussed too much, and I mean, I being a coach, obviously know all the other coaches. Like Joe wasn't a coach for them this year; it was just Ryan, Flux. And I mean, I'm not saying that like obviously that can play whatever impact it can play. Like there's a certain comfort players have. There's a certain systems teams will have with their coaching staff and how they go about certain things. Who knows? Maybe that created somewhat of a void somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if because Joe obviously being one of the smarter players in his era and super good player could have maybe had an impact on the team that maybe they're lacking, but it's hard to tell. Obviously, all these are speculation.
I don't think Ray. I don't think so, Ray. Because again, like if you look at their numbers from last year, I have them pulled up. They were bottom 5, and they had the same problems that they had last year, but like they got worse statistics. For example, last year in hardpoint, they won 47% of their rotations. They were a top 4 hardpoint team. That's because they broke 32% of the hills. Like. And they were doing really good at the back and the middle. They were above average in those stats in the last 40 seconds of hills. Like they did a good job of like not always rotating, but like forcing through. Your point S&D, where they got in trouble is they were low. Somehow a team with Joe and Kleenex last year was only getting 40 first bloods at 47%, which is ridiculous. Like I don't understand how they're bottom 4 in first blood percentage with the personnel they have. And to Ant's point, they finished 500 in the game mode, and I think that's why they were never able to really make a final as a team. You know?
Yeah.
But then they regressed. They regressed in the other areas, and those stats were still a problem. And that's how like the fall off happens from a data perspective. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it, but it just feels like the Real puzzle pieces didn't fit with what they were doing. Other people didn't adapt or improve on their issues, and that's how you get underperformance from a team.
Yeah, you know, and there's more going on in the camp, you know, just by speaking to, you know, people over there and stuff. So it's it could be a tough situation, you know, if a player's uncomfortable and people, you know, if they don't work around it, right? Because it's a new player coming in. So I get that there's moving parts to it, but yeah, it just sucks. It does feel like at this point, if you're Toronto and you're Real, for both like parties, you might want to move on, right? Like, and that's seemingly what's happening. As Ronnie dropped an article, Koi bringing in Kips, overhauling struggling roster.
There's actually a new Ronnie article after this. So we can go through this and then we can talk through about the.
Yeah.
We just put out an article about potential Jamie Insight replacements as well.
Excuse my ignorance. Is Kips an AR or sub?
AR.
Yeah. So what's weird about this to me though is like this team, a team making a change of this stature and a player this talented, like getting released is kind of like we don't really see this often. I mean, I guess we saw it with Pred last year. So this is going to be
was struggling to an extent that was like astronomical, and there was also other reasons I think to that, right? Like,
yeah. So this is to me, this is pretty wild news, bro. Because like it's going to change the outlook of this season depending on where these dominoes fall, right? Because Real's
going to fall somewhere, right? For sure.
And there's a lot of teams he makes better, right? And Toronto could theoretically become like a really big player if they nail this. But going into this article, Ben, so you said there's a new one. So they're considering replacing Insight as well, is what this says, and replacing with Byron. I'm curious the logistics of that, Ben, and if you could talk me through that, because I'm obviously Byron's under contract. So how is this even a rumor? And he's one of their better players.
I mean, I think it's either a trade with Jamie and Byron, which I don't know why Boston would do, or they're just going to buy Byron out from Boston, which I think Byron's a good player, but I don't think like I don't think Byron's commanding a $100,000 buyout. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think there is a number that Toronto, which they do have cash, but eventually Boston would be like, yeah.
Have Boston done a trade or anything of that, or like a buyout, anything of that magnitude?
Has there ever been a trade in the CDL era? I don't think there has.
There have been like what, like a player for player swap?
Yeah, player for player swap. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Like, I don't think like Pristini. I don't think like the Maniac Pristini move in year one was technically a trade. I think the only thing that could potentially have been kind of a trade is when Austin and Alex swap places, but I don't think that transaction was like a trade transaction. They just took each other's spots in the offseason. You know what I'm saying? So I think this would theoretically be the first player for player.
So there's another one.
As far as I know.
Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, sorry. No,
I was just going to say there's another one, the updated one, Ray, and it says they're compiling a short list to replace Insight. And the two players that are on that list right now are Kenny and Nasty. And then obviously Kips for Riyadh. So that's the full updated news drop from Ronnie. Shout out Ronnie for dropping some news for us. But go ahead, Ray.
This is extremely hypothetical, but would we consider a purge move to AR and picking up Real and make the trade Bayern for Real? Would that make more sense for Boston?
Ooh, interesting.
That's where my brain's going with this.
It would. I think
it would make more sense than getting Jamie, because you got Kemi already, who are I would argue kind of similar players in that end. I think that first thought process, that would make more sense if I were Boston. I'd be more interested in that if I'm going to move Bayern away. I don't think I would move Bayern away at all if I'm Boston. Bayern's been performing really good, unless the offer Toronto is giving is like really going to set you kind of in a good place for something else. But
so I have another element to this. I have another element to this that I would like to propose here that kind of makes sense. If you're Falcons, you should be, with this news, like blowing up their inbox, no? If you're Falcons.
Who should?
If you're Falcons, you should be blowing up Toronto's inbox for Real.
Yes, 1000%. They need a hedge on Exen.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, there's either one. I think Kiz hasn't been, like, that last series, to me, Kiz wasn't playing well either. But yeah, you could make an argument for either. Depends on, like, obviously Exnid, he's very, very popular. So I don't know the logistics there. But if I was Falcons, they feel like the team in the league right now that is a move away.
Have you ever noticed that?
What the hell am I hearing? Oh, it's an ad. They feel like the team in the league right now that's a move away. Ray, thoughts?
It's tough.
Agree with that.
I don't really see them moving away from Exnid just yet. I think Exnid's kind of still showing progress, and honestly, he's been performing pretty solid recently. Granted, the team's 0-2 now.
A couple of big maps, yeah.
But I feel like he's showing, like, I think his ceiling is much higher than what the mass thinks. I think, in my opinion, like if you can get through the language, I don't know exactly how these are things that I don't know, but I've heard the language stuff is a problem in some points. Hopefully, it's not. If it's not, then great. From a strategic, like, fundies side, I think he's been, like, you can really see just based on ice test that he's been kind of starting to grasp things. He's still making mistakes here and there, but it's definitely not as much as it was before, which then kind of puts down to the last part. Like, he definitely seems like he has a skill. Like, he can get into gunning with people, and I think he has also pace, which is, again, I'm gonna bring that up a million times this year, but that's something you need. So I don't necessarily think it's a player that I'd be willing to move away from just yet. And I would assume the organization as well doesn't, because it's their Saudi player. I would assume they want to keep him. If we're talking that end, you were saying replace Kiz with someone else? I feel like Kiz is probably like the backbone of keeping this team on par strategically during a map. I feel like he has to be the most vocal guy from a strategic standpoint.
I would agree with that, yeah. But
I'm not really thinking Pred or Cell.
But at the same time, this is a team and they want to win. This is a team that's getting, these are storied players who are getting paid a lot, that want to win championships, and they've been struggling to get over that hump so far. But the makings of a good team are there. I mean, you watch them, Game 5 series of FaZe. You watch them in their last series versus Boston. Dude, it's like one play away each time. It looks like Sellium's fighting for his life sometimes. Pred is so streaky. I think Pred's the streakiest player in the league as it stands right now.
I think
And you're making a face. You want to talk?
I don't think. You want to know my honest opinion about Falcons?
Yep. Go
I
ahead.
think they're good, but I don't. I think they're 2 moves away. I don't think they're 1 move away. And I think the 2 moves are. I think Exnid's good, but I don't know if he's. The problem is the top end teams don't make that many mistakes, and I think Falcons get away with a lot of mistakes, and they get away with a lot because they play double Colossus in every series, and they don't when they play the occasional dem, but they're not. You put them on exposure scar, and they get, no pun intended, exposed. Like, I think Exnid may have to be rotated out to get more consistency, but here's the problem.
I agree with that too.
You drop Kids, and I think their communication, which is already questionable, gets even worse. So like their second move is going to be like, what do we do to not reduce our floor or our skill ceiling and skill floor, but also ensure that we can communicate at a level to compete with John Mates Optic Phase, whoever. So I don't think that's
I think the give and take could be worth. I think the give and take could be worth it. I mean, you're talking about the opposite end of that. It was like, what if we make this change and our comms aren't as good? Like, I think that that's something that's easily worked on, and it's not really considered as much when you're talking about roster changes to win a championship. Ben, personally, and so if I'm Falcons, I look at my options for sure. I look at Kismet and I look at Exnid and I look at what we gain or lose by losing one of those players, and I evaluate the options if I'm Falcons.
I'm more like, if you're gonna if they were in a position where they want to make a move, I feel like the issues of Falcons, I think someone said it a second ago, is a streaky word is what I would use for a team right now. Like they'll have their highs where things are firing and the players happen to be in positions where they're making the right decisions and everything kind of looks great, and then there'll be games like they played Boston this weekend where things just kind of fall apart, like we've seen at the major in the first match, where just for whatever reason, some few decisions are made where it just puts them in a hole, and then they just have a hard time coming back from a game, or just being in a position where that's just hard to get out of. Like, and bro, like they have played the help. Like, I guarantee all the right information is being put through. Like, these guys have all the right tools to succeed. It's just the consistency aspect is not there yet. And if they were going to make a change at all, it would have to be for a player that's going to bring more consistency. That's going to be more of like, I'm sure Kiz is a vocal leader for that team. I would assume that's, if you're going to replace Kiz at all, which I don't think they should, it would be for a player who can do what he's doing better.
Yeah.
Is there a player out there doing that? I don't think so.
It's really hard.
It's probably, it's tough, man. But you would be essentially taking a gamble, and this would be with the caveat of that. And this would be with the caveat of that. They might as well keep doing the gamble
with Exnid, bro. Like, you're just side moving the other. You're side moving from a team that already is got a very narrow win condition.
But there's more.
But
there's more to it. If the players are kind of over, like if they really like, we've seen clips. I know that there's minor frustration in the camp. It just all depends on what the players think as well. Like, to me, this is a situation where if Celium gets fed up and he gets pissed, a move is going to be made. That's kind of the way that I view this.
I don't think that's how Falcons runs their fucking team now.
But we'll see.
I think the only opinion that's going to, let's be honest.
So I was right about the Toronto. You guys are saying I'm wrong about this. I'm going to be right about this too. I'm telling you.
Nobody said you're right about Toronto.
The Falcons,
boys.
I'm telling you guys. I was right about Toronto.
The Falcons, boys, with Falcons, and this is how they do it in most area sports, bro. Like, upper management's going to make the calls. Yes, if the star players are like, we need to change, they're going to think about it. But the only opinion that's going to really matter is upper management. And like, they're going to try and give Exnid as much role as he can. But as we highlighted in the offseason with the Celium, Exnid, Fred trio, is that it's a scam trio. They have a lot of skill, but they scam a lot. Okay. And that's fine when they play Blackheart and Colossus and Den Hardpoint. But when you've got to play Exposure and Scar and play ahead of the game and not make mistakes, they get fucking exposed. Their map pool is very narrow. They could be good teams on the maps they're good on, but not good on the others. And that is why they got 8th. I
don't think their map pool is that much different than everybody else's, Ben. I feel like you're stretching this crazy. And you're looking at it right here, and it's just like there's a lot of teams that just don't play Blackheart and Colossus, but you don't say the same thing about them. Like, I feel like we pick and choose sometimes how we talk about teams. We could say the same thing about so many squads. Like, obviously, Gentlemates and Optic are a bit different, but even with Optic don't play Blackheart, and they're 1-3 on Den. So realistically, they have the same amount of maps that they don't like.
Yeah,
but scroll down now.
It's actually better to be a good Blackheart and Colossus team right now, I feel like, because everyone else is not playing. Like, that's a huge advantage for them to have.
But they also but like, I'm going to be honest, again, the issues with their scam team is they're also a momentum team. And as we saw this weekend, they split the first 2 maps, went to a den overload, which they tweaked in overtime.
Well,
in
they
both,
blew 2
lost,
overtime
and
den situations.
yeah,
and,
but at least have a flight map 4, not fucking fold like they did. Like that's the issue.
well, this is why I'm
don't.
telling you the team is struggling, and this is why I'm saying they would consider a change. Ben, you're making my case for me.
Yeah, but I think that's not going to solve. I don't think bringing Ray out fixes that problem now.
I could definitely
I think
could.
you want to know my honest opinion?
It definitely could.
Honest Benji opinion.
Yeah, that's all I want is honesty.
The only way they fix that is by dropping AG. I think.
Oh, you're faded. You're absolutely faded, bro.
No,
you're tripping.
The biggest factor in the momentum piece is AG.
You're tripping, dog. You gotta
I'm not
watch
saying
the
that
game,
AG sucks.
bro.
I am not saying that AG sucks. Just to be clear, that is not what I'm saying.
Bro, I hate when people default to this. I hate when people default.
I am just saying that he definitely got the most visibly frustrated after map 3. He needs to be a rock on this team. He needs to be an emotional rock. No, let me finish my thought. Please don't cut me off because I need to expand before it gets fucking clipped. Okay. I think AG is talented. I think if AG plays his game at his level, this could be a very good team. But he needs to be the emotional center of this team, but also be emotionally mature on this team. And after those map 3s, yes, they lose in a tough way, but he's got to rally the troops and be the captain of the squad.
Fair.
They can pull back up to that map 4 and play well because this team goes to game 5s. They're going to have a fucking chance. If you're hand in head and then we just kind of fold on that 4th map, MC's a fairly passive guy and he's going to feel that same negative energy.
No, okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so I got a couple of responses to that.
Okay.
So I'll start at the end where you said they go to game 5, they have a chance. Well, you go to game 5, and if your teammate scams by himself on an island holding B bomb site on land when the lights are bright, then you don't have a chance. And that's what Exna did. 1. 2, the second part is when I watch this team, the only time that they have success, they're in control and Celium's front hill just absolutely slamming, or Pred is making plays, bro. Like huge plays. Like, and yes, he's super streaky, but everything I've seen from them, like when they're having success, Pred's playing well. And then the clips I've seen post game are Pred like actually teaching his teammate. Like actually talking to his teammate in a great way, trying to teach him. So I don't really have much pushback on AG. I've been super hard on him. Like last year, we did breakdowns like roasting the shit out of how he's playing the game. This year, I don't have massive complaints about AG. And I think it's unfair to come at him because when I watch the team, he's not the reason that they're losing maps.
I think Exon's the biggest reason they lose maps, but I also
Kismet
think again,
was getting spin cycled in this series. The stats don't end that well, but he was losing huge gunnies, bro. Huge situations.
Kiz is not heard. We know Kiz is not on this team to drop a 1-2. Like Kiz was realistically not even their number one option for what they want to fill in that role. They're trying to make it work with Kiz. But my thing is like with AG is like if they're going to build around this MC AG combo, like they're going to scam. They're going to win big maps. They're going to make great comebacks, but they're also going to scam. And like they need AG to be that emotional rock, and like the hand and head thing after map 3 is not the energy they need. I know they have other issues, but individually, I want to see him be like the rally the troops guy. You know
I'm not so.
Can I say something to that? Can we agree that I feel like, again, outside perspective, we don't know much of anything. All we see is the camera and the reactions and whatnot. Like, I feel like AG has made a step forward again. Without really knowing anything here, I feel like AG's been a lot better at that this year than in the past. And they do have, I think they have a mental coach, a psychologist coach or something that helps the team out. So I think, and those things don't change overnight. Like behavioral stuff takes a while. And I think he's been trending in the right direction, and which to me was looking out from the outside. Again, never having worked with AG on a personal level, seemed like those were his biggest fallouts. And I feel like if he's going to keep improving on that end and keeping like becoming a better emotional kind of rock, like whatever words you guys use a second ago for that, I think he's going to become a more complete player, which is not a player you kind of drop. Like, bro, his ceiling and his talent level is way too high. Like if you can find, like, especially if they have the staffing to help manage those and build, like grow those parts of him outside of the gameplay, I feel like we can all agree his gameplay is great. If you can grow those parts of the game, then it'll only raise his gameplay and his ability to help a team win, which again, like I get where you're going, Ben. I think that'd be a little ludicrous to say that you want to replace him. And I think to me, like the way I see the Falcons,
I'm not saying to drop him, by the way, just to be clear. Just to context. I'm sure that's what's going to get clipped by CDO highlight.
I know what you're
saying,
and let's clarify what Ben was saying. Let's clarify what Ben was saying. He was saying to get to that next level, ideally they would change Pred for somebody, a better version, a better teammate in that same role. Or
Pred just adapts, because I still think he's got the talent to win.
I just don't agree.
I feel like this Falcon teams isn't like we talk about changes and whatnot. I think, dude, everyone goes to the well with changes way too fast, dude. Like, just give this team more time. They're still a brand new team. It's the first time Cell's playing away from this 3 teammates he's had for like 4.5 years.
And he's
It's like
balling,
these
dog.
guys just need a bit more time. Clay's like, I'm sure Clay's gonna give these guys some good stuff to like be about, and he's a winner, bro. Like they have players who know how to win. You just need to give this team more time. Like we've seen some good stuff, and like I hate that we talk about this too, because it's like even the best teams, even like FaZe has had moments in their, like even the start of last season had a rough go. Like I'm not saying that's the comparison here, but every team goes through stuff, and especially new teams will go through these instances. That's just how it is. That's a new team being built. They need time to adjust. They need time to play, and we react to these things so fast because there's just not a lot of games to look at. Like the progress they made from the start of the season to now, to me, has been tremendous. Just
Fair
give
enough.
them more time. If they keep trending in the same direction they are now, they're going to be a Sunday team pretty fast. And if not, be a team that can contend for championships, that they can become more consistent. Once we get to the point where we've seen like the level not get any better, that's when to me you start talking about changes. But we're not even close to that yet. Like you're still
Well,
trending, bro.
I'll push back
Agree.
on that because you want to get ahead of things. And my argument to that is, I know you're coming from a coach mind, but on the outside looking in, this is the most important stage of the year. You're 0-2. You just lost to Boston. You lost on land game 5 because you had a couple scams going on. And there's a situation right now where there's players that are really good that could become readily available. So I think I disagree just because of like the situation that these rosters are in right now and the opportunity that maybe presents itself. I think if you're to explore it, now is a good time to explore it. I couldn't.
And just to kind of say something, just again speaking from the inside, being on the inside for all these years, and you're looking at these and the potential options they have will for sure make them better. Like 100%, not even a doubt of in your mind, you would, if you're in a position that was managing this team, you would say one of the changes or one of the opportunities out there is guaranteed to make us better.
If we get Real, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You think it's guaranteed with how Real's been playing?
I don't think anything's guaranteed, but I think it's worth the risk, and I think the floor would be extremely similar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I disagree.
Yeah.
I think we'll disagree on that.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, people approach it differently.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. To me, and I also, like I said, it depends a lot on the players. Like it depends on what Pred and Cell think. You know how the team comms are going on, or post games, how the vibes are. Like there's more that goes into it. We don't know the answer to any of that.
But Denton Clay should definitely be thinking about Real. You're not wrong. They need to have that discussion about, does he make sense for what we're trying to build here?
I don't think I'm crazy
can we talk about
saying that.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy for saying that. Can we talk about Kenny being like? Can we go back to the article? Ken's like on that list too now. I know there were some rumors. You probably heard the same in the offseason that Ken, when they were talking about Abe going there, BZ and Draws. Like I heard Ken's name a lot theoretically linked to this team, and either that combination or replacement of one of those players. And like I think maybe the sentiment that I had heard behind the scenes is like maybe he doesn't want to move to Canada and pay Canadian tax, and what I'm saying, like he'd rather be in Dallas. But it seems like at least he's on their list. I don't know if you could pull back up the running article. I don't know if there's any color on if Kenny's open to that move, but I'm curious what you guys think about it.
Here, go ahead, Ray. I pulled up the article though.
Scroll to the bottom.
Yeah. So Kenny also has interest from Boston Breach. So he has interest from 2 teams, but I don't see if Kenny has interest. I'm sure he does. If you're Kenny, you would love to be on Toronto, right? Like,
we can't go. I mean, we can't go into his mind. Like, I'd be curious to know if Toronto would be down to let him play from where he is now. Like, the split wouldn't be that bad. I mean, they're up north and he's central, so like he'd actually be paying better to the games they'd be playing online for the most part.
So, like the hypothetical roster in this situation would be Kenny coming in, put Kleenex back on SMG, Joe, and keep Insight. Is that the hypothetical roster, Ben? Like if they were to get Kenny, or would it be a two?
I think it'd be Joe and Toby subs, and then Ken and Kips as the ARs.
Oh,
yeah,
Ken and Kips
as well.
Okay,
yeah, that's the way I'm reading this as well.
Well, I didn't know if it was going to be two man change or just one man.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know. But like the way I'm reading this article and the way it's being talked about, that's what I would perceive as the potential change.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I
have no idea. Yeah, Kenny hasn't been playing that great, so.
I mean, the one thing about Ken for Jamie is like it's a weird side move because I think Ken plays quicker, and I think sometimes he plays too quick. Whereas Jamie, and I mean, we had a clip that we watched from a exposure hardpoint they lost this weekend, where Jamie scammed on a P2 exposure pretty bad by playing slow. But at the same time, I personally think Jamie, at his best, is a better S&D player than Ken. Like as a like anchor island player in search. So like that feels sideways, but maybe sometimes sideways moves are the best. I don't know.
Well, the only thing is Kenny definitely plays faster than Insight. Like we're talking actual like game speed. Let's see what Kenny's engagements were.
Do we really like? I struggle with this, and I've been in positions before where I've had discussion with players. I had the same discussion with Byron after Major 1 last year about how he needed to increase his pace, which he did, and then obviously we picked up Trav, so it was a combination of things. But it accumulated Byron probably having the best stage of his career in Major 2 last year. Like is Jamie just not capable? Like, are we not saying that Jamie can do that? Like, is he? Like, I would love to. Maybe I want to talk to Jamie on the side and just have a pure discussion about it, because I still think Jamie's, like, again, statistically he's been playing really good this year. Team wise things have been working out, but like it's not like he's playing bad. Can we not just get him to increase the pace a little bit more than what he's doing, or is he just really like pushed on playing the way he's been playing for all this time? Like,
that sounds like a question for Toronto.
I mean, I don't know, bro. I want to know, because it actually pisses me off from the outside, because again, like, we're talking about all these roster moves, and I think we've kind of agreed that most of the changes seem like lateral moves, not really like a forward move per se. So then, like, if that's the case, are we really in that bad a spot in terms of adapting to what we need to do, to where we just can't? That just seems so wrong to me. Like I've played. I mean, shit. We've played with me and Ant. We've played with players that have had a hard time adapting in the past, right? Like, we had teammates that that's the case. I'm not saying that's not the case, but I just feel like with players that are playing at this level these days, like, I feel like Jamie can do it. Like, just got to get him to do. I don't know. It's weird to me. Like, I'm not really saying anything here besides the fact that I feel like Jamie is still a good player. Is still a player that can be playing the game at the highest level. Definitely pacing not the best right now, and I feel like he should be able to change that. That's just my perception.
To me, there's 3 players that are uncomfortable on the team. I mean, potentially all of them, but like when you watch them play, it's indecision on the side of Riyadh. The same with Insight. Like, I could literally pull up clips from their series where it's just kind of like there's just no confidence. Yeah. There's just no confidence, bro. And regardless of what we talk about, like the details in game, if you don't have confidence, everything's going to look much worse. And at that point, you just have to make a change.
Do you think the lack of confidence comes from results, or is it just the way they're playing the game? Like, where?
So let me just
it comes from not having success when you try to do the things that we're saying, right? Like, if they're in practice and you're being like, all right, yo, we gotta speed this up. Like, I'm fighting the back, just wrap back and help me real quick. That shit goes wrong where it's like, damn, I should have just held the front. It comes from that, bro. It comes from failed reps. Yeah. That's what lack of confidence comes from.
So the MO with Ken, or the MO with Jamie's stat profile was, because I agree with what Ant said, that it's got to be at this point like just purely form, right? But from like a like actual stat profile perspective, the issue with Jamie compared to other ARs of his class is he's this round is like egregious, but like I mean, he did the same thing on a P2 in the series before this. It's like, bro, like, what? He maybe gets one and gets away, but like, he's
both
getting
of
traded.
These guys,
There's
bro.
no help here.
Like, bro, we're just voluntarily trapping ourselves in hell. Like, to me, I'm like, this is no confidence, bro.
They got nowhere to go.
And Kleenex loses the 1-2. It's just like, bro. Go ahead, Ben. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was trying to.
So the stat profile for Jamie, these across like 5 years of COD, right? Is that among other ARs in his class, he is near the bottom in interactions and near the bottom in damage per 10. Like, he's just not active, right? If you're not getting kills, but you're putting up top dammy, then like you can live with that as an AR, because at least you're giving opportunity for other people on the map to get an insta trade, and then another, and like you're winning your map control situations. The problem with Jamie is he's just like out of the play. Right? He's just either not reacting to information quick enough, or he's just playing one and done spots, but he's just not impactful, and it then relies on the rest of the team to like 3v4.
Yep.
You know? Whereas with Ken, like, I think Ken's almost the opposite. Sometimes Ken actually needs to play his life more. He's trying to get in the mix, and he's just throwing away his life too much and forcing his team to make up for the fact that he's putting up no damage because he's tossing his life away.
So like opposite ends of the spectrum of these players. And Ben, I 100% agree with everything Ben just said. I'm on the exact same page. So like if they were to do the Kips and Kenny thing, it could be better. It's a risk, but just by the sheer fact of like Kenny's gonna push pace. Like he's gonna try to play quick. And whether he's gonna find success or not is a different story. But the makings of like how to play this game would probably likely be a little bit better.
And it's frustrating to me because I really like Jamie, and in particular, Jamie's best skill set. When they were playing great Respawn, especially being like Modern Warfare 3, you see it because if the flow of the game comes to him and he can turn it up, like he's good. But he's also like a class S&D player when they actually have a good system. And that's the frustrating thing is like he never really got to show that as much last year in the middle of the season to the end, and then like this year at all. And that's where his value is. Those game fives, like he's just fucking incredible ice double digits doing what they need to do to like win big series, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff, man.
It's a conundrum, man. It's very tough because the roster's so good, but I'm very curious to see what shakes up here. And Kips is pretty fast. You've watched a decent amount of him, Ben?
Yeah, I think Kips could definitely be solid. Obviously, need to see what he does at this level. It seems like he, had a lot of really good moments, especially for the Huntsman during the stage 1 cycle.
Mm-hmm.
How does he pair with Kleenex and Joe? Because you also have got the adaptation now. If they do this, that like I assume Kips is going to run generally a full-time ARC on a map like Scar. Toby's got to get used to being third AR situation and pulling out a sub. Like, can he get back in flow of what we expect?
He's got to find consistency again, by the way, too.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too hard. It's just reps
easy.
at that point. Yeah, it's just time.
That's not.
Has Kleenex?
I wouldn't see that as a problem.
I haven't looked at Kleenex's individual stats. Has he been? I mean, I'm sure they're all just getting slammed. Let me look.
I mean, as a team, they haven't been doing well.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that's
you're
gonna be a product of the environment that in, bro. Like, there's no point.
All right, well, let's move on to the next topic then, Ray, and we'll start with you here. The LA Thieves are back with a 2-0 record. They had their most successful weekend after adding Nium, 6-1 map count. My question is, based on what you saw, not the direct results, based on what you saw, is it sustainable? And give me your evaluation of Nium's performance.
I'll start with Nium. I think he looked good. Obviously, first match woos. I don't think there's too much crazy. Like, I mean, like everyone in the right mind, especially playing the players he's playing, the amount of pressure probably he's somewhat feeling. I don't necessarily think he's feeling too much pressure, but there's definitely like some like talking points about that, like going on with the league concerning who he's replacing and a team he's replacing into. You gotta think he's probably feeling a little pressure.
You're gonna get those jitters. You saw it in the smoke round, Ray. Remember he threw the smoke and he like switched his gun. He was tweaking about. I'm like, oh, he's nervous. It'll go away though. It'll go away.
No, it does. It just give him like a match and a half. And obviously second match against Carolina, he proved out. Like that was just kind of first game stuff. So, I mean, he looks solid. I kind of like. I don't really see him being like the insane player, like maybe like he's like a Merc, right? No. But he's definitely I think he's gonna come in and help this team be better. I would definitely see that. I think it's also one thing to me that's important that some people on the outside don't necessarily know, but being on the inside, having made team changes in the middle of the season in the past, it brings in like especially a team that was struggling like they were, it brings in like a fresh mindset, and everyone, not only the player who's joined, but everyone typically is more chipper about the potential opportunities that new player brings. So you'll see, like, I mean, we can call it the honeymoon phase if you want, but you'll see some element of like raise in terms of like team, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like passion, effort levels and scrims, like passion. Yeah, just like everything everything we say outside the game is gonna kind of grow to an extra level than it was before with a change like that. As far as like the team's concerned, I didn't really see all that much different from like the gameplay standpoint. Like I think it's just a matter of like they were obviously like Nium performed on a kill level, which is I think where they were lacking before. They didn't really play. I mean, they played Carolina, who's been really good online. They took care of them I would say pretty comfortably. And then they played Vancouver game 1. Yeah. So any Surge match to me at this point isn't something to be talking about too much. So I'm curious to see how it kind of translates into when they play the bigger teams, to see what it looks like and where they stand. But I'm excited for them. Again, I think this is. I mean, if we look at the roster on paper, it's a team that should be succeeding and having, like, they should be making Sundays and at least top 3 with their eyes closed.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how moving forward.
So Ben,
just one more thing to it though, like I still think, and we don't know exactly what's going on in scrims, I still think this team hopefully collectively can pick up more space holistically as a team. I think that's, if they can get to that point, I think they'll be a team that can contend for championships on a regular.
So Ben, with hearing what Ray said and based on what you watched, do you think Thieves, how they're playing, is like a sustainable way to like win in this game in your mind? Because from what I saw, it was kind of like Scrap and Hydra taking over. Hydra kind of running around, especially on the exposure that we saw. Didn't look awful, but I don't know. It wasn't the spark that I thought I would see bringing in.
Why don't you scroll in this map and see what Tyler Beasley put up in this map? I feel you need to put some fucking respect on Tyler's name.
Well, he
played
well too. He played well too.
Well too. I see. So I'm the one with the Tyler Beasley narrative. Okay.
No, I don't have any crazy narratives. I haven't been a big fan in this game of a Beasley or Paco so far in this title, because every time I go and watch them, it's just frustrating. It's been frustrating.
Yeah, because they just scam out of hardpoint holes, which is their biggest issue with their last team. Is like, go ahead though.
I was asking you, but we started going back and forth. So the Paco thing to me, and the way he plays COD, is incredibly frustrating in this game. You got to play around him, bro. Everybody, the whole team, bro. You all got to play around him. We got to be hard blocking. We got to be watching every cut, and we got to hold Paco finds 2 to 3. That's how you got to play. That's how you got to play hard point when I'm on your team. And yeah, limit testing. That's people say about Shotzi, and I got to be fair, because we say that about Shotzi, and he ends up figuring it out. But it's just been tough with the supporting cast hasn't been doing that as much this year outside of Scrap. So I'll leave that open to you though.
Just before Ben starts, isn't the narrative with Ant that he gets better as the year goes on? Can we not agree that it's the same with Hydra?
He does, yeah. So I guess we should give him the same amount of grace that we give Shotzi.
But Paco normally is still getting his in a respawn, even amongst, say, the New York situation, Modern Warfare 3, like last year with Thieves. The issues have generally usually been in the third mode and with S&D. This is the first year where I felt like he really struggled off the year in a hard point,
Gotcha.
And I think in particular with the hard point, when you watch and look from a data perspective, it wasn't necessarily breaking and doing the right stuff off the rip when you spawn out, because they were actually very good at that. It was when they would get control and
when
rotate.
They were in control,
They'd make stupid fucking decisions and scam the advantage that they fucking have. And I will say that in the matches this weekend, again, Carolina, Vancouver, want to see them play teams that I think are a little bit more in their caliber. I thought they did a good job of not doing that. And also in particular, playing the map that's on your screen, Colossus, because it blew my fucking mind how little they played Blockhard and Colossus as a team last split. When they have fucking BZ and Hydra on their team, like, we're not playing those maps is fucking insane. So I want to give you just my quick Nium thoughts. I thought he had a good debut. I don't know why everybody thinks everybody just needs to come in as a rook and drop 1-2 in your first couple of series.
Yeah, it's not
thought he played fine. They're going to play a lot of online matches. We're going to get a really good sample size on kind of where they're at with him, where he's playing individually this split before they go to Birmingham. But I think there's not more you could have asked for him this opening weekend. Like, they walked away 2-0. I think job done. You move on and get better.
I agree with that. I'm glad that we're kind of similar spot on the thoughts about their play style on hardpoint. I just think they're going to get edged out by like Genomates and Optic with the way that they play, because everybody has a fully star-studded roster. But maybe they'll get there. But also, like, coming into the weekend, Ray, and I know you don't really like stats, but there are some that are important. Abizi was 43rd in engagements in the league in hardpoint.
For him, that's I would assume that's
last split.
What's the comparison to this in the past?
I'm not sure what it was in the past, but it was him and Hydra were both. I think they were 30th and 43rd. Scrap was 5th. So
yeah,
I'm not saying
Abe was pretty up and down for FaZe on those numbers. There were splits where he had that same issue. There were splits where
they weren't going to hardpoint.
He was just throwing away his life.
But to me, so like it just says he's playing around Hydra. That's kind of what my take there. But it could be different things too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's too complex without being involved in what's going on behind the scenes for us to.
Well, I'll say visually, I think when you watch what those guys play, they love to take low percentage gunfights because they're such high skill players. They can win those crazy gunfights and take more space by taking that risk. But it's like limit testing when you're at a hold, because like, yeah, you get kills, let's push. But there are times we get no kills and we're pushing and we're like, we're scamming out situations where if we just hold our fucking irons.
This is when they're at their best, Ben. When they're just doing shit like this. All right, we got to set up. We're in control. They were scamming these situations before, but like
now we got 4 kills. We can hear what's gonna make some fucking plays. Let's see.
This is when Hydra's at his best. Are you guys blocking? You got my mid. Like, all right, I'm gonna go do some shit. I'm gonna make some plays. Right. Like, to me, it just kind of it all comes down to if he's able to get loose, make his plays, and if his teammates are finding success on their lanes. And it's a little more individual, I guess, when I watch them than when I watch other teams, which is great. This guy's a world champion. He's one of the best players in the CDL, but he's just looping P3 here over and over, and it's working. But like to me, it's just kind of how he plays. It's just how it is.
The clip you just showed to me is more of that's a team play though.
Yeah,
like
good.
That's it's just he's in a position to make that play. I would assume any player who was in a position would have made that. And the looping P1's just a weird hill, bro. Like that's kind of how you have to play it. Like it's as dumb as as weird as it looks to us. That is very much to me like how you want to do that. Like
we got to see how they handle, we got to see how they handle, P2 Blackheart, right? Like a hill where you got to be careful about when you get kills and pushing out that you don't open the back and make it too mixy. Or like a P2 Den, where how do we play the front and back when we get kills, don't get kills? How do we want to break and hold? It's a bit more or less more simple situations. We got to make sure we execute the basics. Like I think it's a good start for these. I think
frying, dude.
Yeah, Ernie also had a bad stage 1 by his standards. Like generally was just an IA player. Like he definitely fried this struggling.
It's just this game is like, and we're just talking about we're playing ranked play a second earlier, and it's just this game is so team centric that if you have players on your team that aren't doing the stuff that needs to be done on the map, or you're just not
helping
as a whole doing stuff, it's gonna make it very hard for individuals to kind of shine and do what they typically do.
For sure.
They play Toronto, Boston, by the way, next weekend.
Okay.
Which Toronto's going through their changes, and then Boston's Boston. So
you have to be so active in this game. Like your teammates getting pressure, you gotta go help, go a couple bullets out, give up your cut, and then go back to it. Like Gentlemates are so good at it. I can't even. You watch them play, it's like it looks like a different game.
They're very good at it. They're very good at it. They're very good at it in hard point. I think I will say with Gentlemates in particular, where the split could get a little weird for them is they still struggle in overload at times, especially against the better overload teams. But I think for Thieves, one thing I want to see, because we only saw 2 S&D maps this weekend, they were good. I think the second one was very clinical. Yeah, but I want to see more sample size, because Search was also a big struggle for them last split.
Yeah.
And they didn't play bad in these S&Ds, but I want to see them play some of the more elite Search teams before I'd say, well, do they improve or not improve from the last split?
Yeah, that's a good take. Their Search has been not great. 7-7, 6 of those are on Den and Scar. They need a little bit more of a bag. But they went 1-1 in overload. Yeah, I mean, leaving a lot to be desired. I'm excited to see them this week. And also, this is a team that could get a lot better because Nium could get more comfortable. The first series, he definitely didn't look as good. He played really good in the next series. And by all accounts, online, Carolina's one of the best teams in the game, and they thundered them. So good on them.
Carolina might be cooked now, but
they might be.
Listen, we playing a flank Breaking Point Fantasy League. I picked up Scrap and Paco this weekend. They cooked, and I think they're going to cook all split. I invested early this stage in my Thieves bucks, bros.
Yeah,
just let you know.
Well, that was a good investment. All right, one final team to talk about before we do match previews is the Miami Heretics. I want to talk to you, Ray. You've been pretty bullish on this team. I think they've been showing us a lot, and in particular, Super and Rencor as a duo, statistically insane and in game, dude. They've been balling. So talk to me about this team, the outlook of them, and do we think that they are going to be a contender headed into this event? It's early, but let's project a little bit.
So my bone to pick with Miami has always been just about being a little too kill centric to make stuff happen on the map. When they get those kills, they look incredible.
I remember saying that.
Trakes has been, to me, honestly, a really good surprise. I didn't really know much about him as a player before, to be completely honest with you, but I think he's been showing off, and he's been starting to really kind of find his stride to where like it's like we're all like, can they find a suitable replacement that speaks Spanish for Real? And I think they did find that.
I agree.
He's been playing really good. It's kind of weird to say. Like, imagine he wasn't performing well. Would they go back and pick up Real after all the beef that happened during the offseason?
Maybe, yeah.
That would have been a weird one to say, but I definitely don't think they're gonna do that. And I think honestly, like, it's the same thing last year. Like, they kind of started really, like, I don't want to say really slow. They had different players. When they picked up Super, I feel like things really kind of picked up as a whole. I think Super and Rancor are probably, I don't know, like top 5 AR duo in the league. Would we say that? Like,
I mean,
yeah, they're gonna
they might be top 3, brother.
Yeah, like, I was gonna say maybe better. Like,
who's the all right? So one.
I mean, Merc Dashi has to be higher.
Yep, Sib and Ghosty,
Sib,
and then it's Rencor Super.
For Rencor Super over Abuza and Draws.
Yeah, I would too. Just because they're the win condition, like they're the team. Like,
yeah, you could argue they're pretty close to that, if not that. Let's just kind of leave it at that. I think.
Yeah, but Miami did just dumpster him this weekend. Although I think FaZe played like fucking.
Rencor and Super are
FaZe played
absurd.
super slow in that series. I don't know what crack they were smoking.
That was a weird one.
They just. But Miami's always giving them trouble though. Miami gave them a lot of trouble last year. Like, I don't think that's too crazy to say.
Depending
right?
on where you're from, if you're from Spain, Rencor is the best player in the game. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
that's not crazy.
he's insane, bro. Like the guy is just pops off every time you watch him. He's very good. And Super is a great compliment, and they're good in search. I like this
They're
team a
good. They're
lot.
good in all. They're good in all the modes, bro. That's the thing now with this Trakes pick is like now that they've gotten reps and I see them play all three of these modes, like they're going. I'm not gonna be surprised they go to Birmingham and like
Earning a
have a
final.
legitimate chance to make this final. Like
Yeah.
they are good at all three modes. So I think that there are some weakness. There are some like data points that I want to see them improve on. Sure, but every team's got that. But like they show a mastery in all three, and like I think they're just now what they were at the end of last year, bro. They're a hard out team.
Yeah.
Can they execute being a hard out team on Saturday and Sunday? We won't know until we get to Birmingham, but they're 100% in that combo.
Bro, like look
I
at
think
these
they're
guys.
a team that if they get hot, they're gonna slam. They can beat anybody. Like when they all get hot. Like if they're all playing at the highest level, and they're again, to me, it's just the kill aspect. Like the absolute need to get like obviously everyone needs kills, but I feel like they need like a half a kill more to get some of the things that other team like the top teams like Gentlemates and Optic are doing to accomplish the map in the same way, which is like I don't want to say I have a hard time seeing him beat like Gentlemates or Optic a few times, but consistently right now I don't see it. But I think in terms of the rest of the league, like I mean, I would definitely argue right now they've definitely raised their stock to being a Sunday team. If they keep doing it consistently, I think that's really something that we should be looking at and talking about. For a team that nobody really, I mean, I don't want to say nobody because they did have a good year last year. Let's not even like blatantly say nobody expect them to be doing this, but I feel like with the player they lost and the player they gained, no one really knew too much how they would end up being. And I think they definitely like raised the bar in terms of what my expectations were, and I think what general public expectations were.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm just going based on kind of like where teams have been trending and how they've been performing as of late, like they're in that top 5 for sure. And then like the point you make about them like getting to a final and stuff, dude, if their search stays as good as it's been, especially at the event, dude, it was unreal, then yeah, their hardpoint doesn't even need to be crazy. Just got to be well rounded and have a couple, win your hardpoint pick, and be decent at overload, which they are right now. So I like this.
You feel like they're that much better than the top teams at search?
I think them and FaZe are my 2 best search teams. And when I watch Miami play search, especially on LAN, up until I can think it was their final match, dude, they were just lapping people, hooping, bro. Like they know what they're doing. I just go. The tape shows it. Just watch them play. Watch their search. Dude, they're good, and they're gonna remain good at S&D in my opinion. Like I was watching them this weekend. They hit B-bomb on Scar 3 times, I think, or twice. Both successful. I'm like, dude, this team is they're just doing things at a higher clip, testing things out that's going to benefit them later on in the year. They're just better than most teams in search right now.
I think the interesting thing about them in S&D is like they don't play Colossus, but they're unplayable on Raid. So it's like that kind of cancels out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so then they're really like their Den's really good.
Yeah, let's go.
To your point, their Scar is really they played
Very
a great
good.
Scar against FaZe this weekend.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Their exposure is solid. Like they are just I really like where this team is trending, and unfortunately, the way this shit goes is like we're gonna say the same thing for 6 weeks, and because really the next thing for them is doing this on Saturday in the UK and Sunday.
I think it's finding a way to be consistent, but also I think this team is a team. Like the 3 guys that were on the team last year, and it seems like Trake's kind of fit into that. And I know Methods is a big like I don't want to say family guy, but like their coaching staff is very much kind of rounded in the sense of taking care of their players and taking care of each other. Like they're a wolf pack, bro. Like they're and like teams that are a team that have a good like internal vibe and a good sense of like who they are as people and as players and actually enjoy their company outside of the game as well. Those teams don't get worse; they only get better. So I think it kind of proved out last year in that sense. And I think if they keep doing that, the culture is definitely like one of the highest in the league with the Miami camp. So I'm expecting only better things moving forward from them.
I agree.
Go ahead, Ben.
No, I was saying, do we want to move on to match previews?
Let's do match preview. Let's do match preview. Well, we did the underrated pro players, but I feel like we're all going to kind of agree. I wanted you guys to pick 2. Off the top of your dome, if you haven't looked at numbers really recently, off the eye test. Mine were Rencor and Kremp, for the 2.
Kremp is a sub for sure. Been having a very good year, and I think he's been trending. Like even the year they had, was it the Modern 3 season when he was with Thieves? Like
he was balling, dude.
Like my only issues with Kyle as a player so far in his stint in the league has been consistency, and I feel like this year he seems like he's kind of stepped out of that a little bit, where he's kind of finding the realm where he's going to help you win games, and he's very rarely going to lose you a game.
Yeah.
Like there was games, like especially Modern 3 when we played them, like he would have games where like this guy's just the best player in the world, and then games where he just dropped stinkers and hurt his team to a point where he's not even helped. Like he's basically hurting the team to a point where he's probably losing in the game. But I feel like those days are gone by him, and I mean I love the kid, bro. He's gross. He's a good dude. I want nothing but success for him, and I think he seems to have stepped his game up an echelon now to where, I mean, G2, he's a big reason why G2's been doing so good.
Yeah, him and Estrio feel like the future. Like they're gonna be a big part of this league. That duo is awesome, bro. They're playing really good right now.
Go
ahead.
Am I crazy to say that the Booze is still underrated? I mean, this is super biased.
I was gonna bring that up.
It's extremely biased. And
is he underrated?
Like, I had my team, and I love.
Well, people come my chat all the time, and like, I still have not wrapped their heads around
he's
that.
on phase.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. You could still be underrated, be on the top team.
I guess maybe by the community. Pros, I think all kind of think. I don't know. I can't speak for pros, but it seems like he's pretty well respected around the league. I thought
same with Dill. Like I think like Dill Envoy. I think fans like underrate Dill Envoy, and like the way that he plays in their gentleman system is like so fucking important.
It's actually insane because he was one of the catalysts to why they won 2 events last year. Like,
yeah,
it's just, like it's wild to me.
If I was if I was Hydra and Scrap, I'd be like, dude, I want these 2 guys that are just gonna do everything for me. Like, obviously you're doing shit too, but you know what I mean. Like they're gonna make sure that the right shit's being done so I can slay. Like.
They
it's
basically
so
had
funny.
them last year. No?
They had it. That's what I'm saying. They had it. Like, they broke up. Teams jump the gun sometimes, but sometimes for good reason.
They had it, but we don't know the story on like why they just let that fucking slip through their fingies, bro. Because it just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, like putting up record numbers. We'll forget that though.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do match preview then, since we all agree on the underrated pros. Do we agree Rancor's underrated? I still think he's underrated.
Yes.
I think he gets gas, but he's legitimately like top 5.
Like, but that conversation might be ending the like next few weeks though. I think people are starting to catch on that like, you know, now they're a top team like they were at the end of last year, and he's in the all-star combo.
Yeah. All right, so match preview. First match that we need to preview is Thieves versus Koi. That's the best match on Friday, in my opinion. I will pull up the head-to-head so we can go through it. Yeah, let's kick things off with you here, Ray. I don't really know how to talk about this unless we talk about the hypothetical roster.
Right. It's going to be it's a super weird one. Let's preview a team that we don't even know what team's going to be.
It's just by far the best match on that day.
I mean, Riyadh C9 should be a wash, and then Vancouver FaZe should be a wash. So,
where's my head-to-head
It's the only match. It's going to be, I don't know, like, I mean, dude, like we can't even talk about anything here because we don't even know who's going to be playing. Like, it's
the weekly show.
We could talk about we could talk about one end of it, of like where I think opportunity is for what people might consider the upset, which is like, again, I think Thieves have shown that, you know, yes, they played good last weekend, but they had to make a comeback on Scar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, are they potentially vulnerable because of how little actual matchups they have on, say, like a map like Colossus? I don't know. And then their S&D, I think we still got to see more. The other angle on it too, with Thieves to scroll all the way down, is I thought the overloads they played this weekend were solid, but they played 2 teams that are not
they gave
good
up a
lot
of points.
They played 2 teams that I don't think are good at overload in Vancouver and Carolina necessarily. Like Toronto, even with their old team, was a good overload team. So I think there's opportunity for Toronto to, and with their new team, we assume they're obviously making this change. Like with this honeymoon, could they nuzzle in this series? I think it's doable.
I don't know. It's hard because Toronto been so bad at S&D, bro. Like the world's worst, dude.
And it kind of sucks for Toronto. They have match on Friday and the first on Saturday.
Yeah.
They don't have like that extra day of practice for whatever changed.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dude, you never know with these things, bro. Like it's just you never know.
They should lose this game. Like realistically. Otherwise, there's problems in Thieves camp. Like if Thieves should come out and honestly bully these guys, unless they make a 2-man change and it's just they're just world beaters all of a sudden. But yeah, I mean, we could just move past this one. It's hard to talk about because we don't know the team.
Well, Chad's telling us that Toronto might be scrimming optics. So if we extend a little bit into scrims and they're playing first, when we do call-ins, we can pop a little bit of that perspective on and maybe see how a new Toronto's playing against a top team.
Interesting.
Well, who's on that team?
Also, I didn't victory lap
We'll
hard
find
enough.
out as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's the info that I would want to know.
We'll find out as well.
This is who's on that team.
Centel said their second set. RIP.
Oh,
Like
what
G2
first one? G2. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can still watch it during cons though. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'll hop in. Ben will probably still be live. What was I gonna say? I didn't victory lap this hard enough, bro. You guys really thought this Toronto team was sticking after what y'all saw.
Mm,
Raylene
I mean,
back
I didn't think they need to blow it up necessarily after. Oh, you're missing a nuance of our convo though. Like,
No, I'm not.
we were
I
like,
remember.
they don't need to blow it up after major one, but like they gotta like have the quick hook if it goes south. And it clearly seemed like they it was like there's no confidence that they're gonna win. And then at that point, you guys know you gotta change. Like, we're just wasting time at that point.
I just can't, but like it's so hard for me being in a position I was as a coach and as manager to have a roster like that and think a change is necessary. Like obviously I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm sure, I mean, it probably wasn't as hard for them clearly if there was like that bad of stuff going on. But it's just you seemingly have from an outside perspective have all the tools to succeed and you just can't put it together. Like I think that's where there is back push on what you're saying, Ant. I don't think
Fair
it's
enough.
necessarily
I'm just
like
giving you a
clearly
hard
there's
time.
something going on that no, but clearly there's something that needed to change. They got to a place where they changed, right? But that's just hard to digest, I think.
Nah, it is. I mean, the team was stacked, but we've talked about that ad nauseum. So let's move on to the Saturday matchup that I think is most compelling. It is Texas versus Miami. I think we're at a point where I feel the best about Miami I felt on the season. And in a match versus Texas, it definitely won't be easy, but I do think the way Miami plays, they could give Texas a little bit of trouble. I mean, they showed a lot of fight, even in the series that they ended up losing. Let's go back to it. The breaking point, dude. The game started off like we were just watching it, 130-30. They come back versus Gentlemates, both the maps. And I just think this Miami team, like they have what it takes to go up. Do you guys think that this is a potential upset? Miami versus Optic.
I think that definitely has a chance for it. I think if Miami plays the way they've been playing, like it's again even a match with Gentlemates, like you're looking at it right now, like bro, everything was close here. It's not like Miami didn't really get ran through any of these maps, like, and these are the major one champs, and like I would argue that like this team again, I feel like when Miami all plays their best, they will have a chance to beat any team in the league if that team isn't playing their best. Like it's Miami's just, to me, I still think Miami has a chance to be a good team, a more consistent team through the season. I just think at this very moment, like I would consider like borderline streaky, where if they're firing, they can play super hot, but then they'll also have games where maybe it's not so hot. Just again, purely based on just the strategic aspect of how they're playing certain situations out. But
yeah,
bro, like I mean, bro, if you have Rancor dropping 1.5s every game, like I mean, like is it kind of crazy to like start comparing Rancor a little bit to Cell? Like in terms of like the sheer ability to like carry a game on slaying ability, like just on that.
He's just like take over AR, yeah. For
like I'm not saying
like,
I'm not comparing like one to one, but like just like he's creeping into that zone, right? Like he's not there yet, but he's like kind of creeping into that realm of like he's starting to like feel like he has that potential to just take over a game.
In any mode, see that, by the way. It's not just one.
I'm probably in the minority in this title, but I think Cell is insane. I think he's insane. He's a Lambo trapped in a bando, bro. I watched this guy play.
He's playing Colossus fucking everything.
Yo,
and like
bro,
he doesn't even get to showcase the best shit on that.
He's fighting for his life. I'm telling you guys, bro.
They played 2 Colossus.
Watch MC, dog. This guy is trying to do everything. Like, I think he's insane. But yeah, Rancor's definitely creeping in there, Ray. Kidding me? This kid's a monster. It's Rancor's in the same tier right now. You take Scrap, take Cell, take some of these slang ARs, Sib. Rancor's in that discussion for sure. So I agree. Sib could take over a game, Rancor could take over a game, same with Scrap and Cell. So they definitely have a chance. I guess looking at this series, the overload and what you guys have seen from Miami, do you think it's enough to go up against Optic? Because Optic are really good at that game mode right now.
Yes. You want to know why?
Tell me.
Because nobody wants to play exposure right now because of how iffy the spawns are. Mm-hmm. And Miami don't really, I think, are not going to score Optic on Den, so it's Scar, and I think they have a legit chance. Because we've seen Optic sometimes in these Scars, it's a bit more of a 50-50 map than the other two. And I also think that Miami
but they might square Den.
Do
they veto Den? mean, they're 2-0 on it.
I mean, if I were Miami, I'd play fucking. I mean, I don't think Optic's picking exposure. They have been pretty vocal in that camp about how much they hate that map right now.
So then they
So
might
I
be
think this
playing.
goes Scar.
Yeah, you think they play Scar?
This might be three. This might be triple Scar because if you're Optic, it's like, well, they're not going to play Colossus against us, but they show they're really good at black cards. Like, do we want to play black card and we just want to keep doing what we do online, which is we play exposure Scar then? And like, I think Miami has a chance. So I think I'm going to do it. I don't know.
I think
If
most
Optic
of
lock in, they're hard out. But
I think most
no
of chat
chance.
that plays. I mean, you guys play and chat plays the game. When you're running, if you're an AR player, Scar is like the most fun map to play because you can just spawn trap back green. You get into that situation. So if you're Miami, that's probably why they've been trying to force the Scars. Like Renkor's nasty as hell at that map, and you can just go crazy with the AR in hand. So, yeah, if we see triple Scar, I like Miami's chances really.
I do. Well, we'll see how Optic want to play it because they could square Blackheart. They could go. I don't know who's going to win the coin toss and then ultimately be the one that picks between the two and Overload. Like, are they willing to play? Because you guys have obviously seen a lot of exposure Overload right now. It's spawns suck. You just spawn out and it doesn't play consistent. Yeah, it doesn't play consistent. So
maybe I'm bugging, but I feel like Overload in general, the spawns are crazy, bro.
Oh, they're crazy right now.
Bro.
But that's the worst. That's the worst of the three.
Like, sure,
yeah, it's because it's the widest map, so it's gonna feel like you're spawning in a different part of the world. Yeah.
Oh, we don't have ball. Okay, they're all spawning A. All right, we have ball. Okay, they're all spawning Dojo now. Like, I just don't. To me, it's just it's utter chaos, bro.
I mean, it's normal that we've seen high scoring games in Overload recently because of that. Actually, it's weird. I think it's actually like as teams figured out, it's going to slow the pace of the game a lot more now because teams won't take as many risks to get through because they know how unforgiving dying in certain situations is going to be.
Like, who played it? It was Riyadh. Let me see. Go ahead, Ray.
But no, I was just saying for the mode as a whole. Like,
no, they haven't played on the new patch. They haven't played on.
Oh, they haven't. Okay, never mind then.
Riyadh? No, they played double den last weekend.
Wait, they're still playing on.
No, they're playing on a new patch. I don't know what Ben's talking about. They're playing on a new patch.
I know, but they didn't play exposure on the new patch. That's what I'm saying.
No. I'm backing up the point of what Ray's saying of like the scoring's just been higher. It's like the points changed too, Ben. It wasn't just like one spawn update for one map. So, the spawn like logic. I think spawn logic changed, Ben, because right now if you're like being aggressive, there's like a mid map. They do like you spawn mid map. I know. Like on exposure, spawn low dirt.
Yeah.
You'll spawn like literally in the connector on den. Like it's unreadable to me. And I know some pros have been saying it too.
I will say though, I think scoring was like iffy this weekend. But somehow as a product, I still think there's a massive fucking gap in that mode, and like teams don't have good systems. Like I'm so fucking tired. I'm sorry, I ran for a second. I'm so tired of watching teams play Den Overload
and just
stall. They're on the side that teams are on right now. They win a situation. They don't have fucking two blockers to create space they can cap. It annoys me that they just hit that one guy and he squares wide. And if he wins the gunfight, yeah, you have a chance. But like 8 out of 10 times he doesn't. And now we're just stuck in this fucking weird like mixed situation where it stalemates and we have a 20% chance of winning it. It annoys me. It's such a low percentage play the way they're playing
about when everybody's pushing up by elbow and they're just all kind of waiting.
Yeah, because they have one blocker. The chance of them winning that percent, that chance is like gotta be 20%.
Well, because
more in scrims, the real matches, it's so low, bro. It's not a high percentage play.
It's because we have X-ray, but I'm telling you, Ben, in game, and Ray, you can test this. Sometimes when you're pushing with the rock, you don't know if they're spawning low B stairs or if they're spawning deep A or if they're spawning front P2. There's literally 3 legitimate spawn points that they can get. And Ben, I'm not kidding you. I've went back and I've watched the games. I've went back and watched mine. You don't know if they're going to be here. It's like it's
similar,
which I agree with, Ant. But then the problem is, why are you then making the risky decision instead of playing for more kills?
I mean, you just got to get a guy broken window and flank stairs. It's the only way to score.
Yeah, but I hear you, but the problem is that they're making the riskier play when I think the more high percentage play is, can we stall on picking up that ball so we can get more push out and play another wave of kills so that we can control the spawns because we're LOSing them now. And we can then the third or fourth guy can go pick it up and then cap. Like that's the thing. They're not setting up the initial cap or the second cap after.
So you're saying right here they should be aping. This is the situation basically you're talking about. And right here you're basically saying they should be aping. And I agree, but they just don't know if they're all spawning here or not. Like they're actually like that's
no, I'm not. It's not this situation. This is not the situation I'm talking about. I'm talking about off the rip on this map when ball is middle and there's like maybe 1, 2, 3 guys alive on the map. and teams are like, okay, we got to space the cap, and they have one blocker. Then a guy picks up the ball instead of third in line, and that one blocker has got to maybe kill two people.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, the third guy should pick it up.
I saw that situation play out
Yeah.
it's played out so often, even on the old patch. And I'm telling you, the win percent in matches has probably got to be
So I'll say one thing.
Maybe 20% in an actual situation.
I'll say one thing before you go,
not
Ray.
a good play.
And it's because of this, Ben, and I think this is why. Because there's a lot of times where you'll get in that situation, and somebody will like sneak through mid and pinch the third guy on the ball, and then you're just kind of in their base in no man's land. And then
not even that situation.
Also, you're saying like why is there one blocker when there should be two, and the third guy grabs it, right? That's what you're saying.
No, well, yes, but I'm saying the issue is that in that situation, it's not necessarily that someone's come up with spawn on defense and eventually got middle. The problem is that one guy is sliding out through fucking P3, and he thinks that he's got space to cross the guys on stairs and get into the B point and like push out the back when there's already two guys there, and they just got to play more kills.
Oh yeah, you got to get a guy broken and pinch. Yeah,
it's just like they don't have the space they think they have. So I watched like 19 different people square like wide this weekend, lose that fight, and now we're just fucked because we have the ball with no blockers in P3. Guys are going to start to push up now, and we are just like fucked. Like our chance of winning that situation is now 0.
It's just harder than how you're describing it. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, did they know?
No, I know, but
these guys
that's
are there
the issue.
You don't know where they have info on those guys, or they're just flying.
No, they have zero info, and that's the issue. They're just fucking gambling.
I think that's kind of the basis, though, Ben. Is that like what Ant said is kind of the factual. Like it was the same with Control in previous years. Like Control didn't have specific consistent spawns. Like they would spawn in a general area, which would change all the timings based on the situation of what you expect. So the players have to take risks on certain situations, because if they do have the opportunity to push up because they got the deeper spawn, then if they do play that aggressive play, even if it looks solo, they get so much more space than they could have playing slow otherwise, which then you take advantage of the situation because you played aggressive.
But you agree that you still got to get another wave of kills, so why not get those kills and then we can go.
But those kills becomes like insanely harder if you wait without taking the space forward and not getting your one to start, because then you're creating a ball change, you're getting info. Like there's so much more than what you're describing.
This is what Ben's talking about right here. I got it right here. He's talking about a situation like this.
Yeah. So here's my okay, let me put my coaching hat on here, right? Can you back it up just a smidge? I'm a little bit delayed.
Got
you. So just play it from the start whenever before he starts committing. Like six is okay. So play from here.
It's not really the situation, but
so okay, but pause it. Pause it. What would be different to what you're describing, Ben, than this situation?
I was saying more off a new, like the what I'm talking about is the potential, and I think what teams try to do on the side that who's a white team? Falcons.
Yeah.
They try to go up 2-0 on this side because it spawns middle, then it spawns P3. So if you get all the kills B, you can double cap before they can do anything. So they try to set it up. It's more of a more of a mid ball spawn, like on a neutral in the beginning of the game. But I do think this situation also kind of applies. But they kind of, in my eyes, play correctly. Yeah, because they let this guy create some space. But go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I mean, I think what you're describing is like too specific for us to get into it without seeing his situation. Maybe it's something you saw, but like this to me is proper play. Like what Falcons doing here is super efficient. Like, and wrapping the ball here is completely the right play. Like you're forcing ball movement. That's where to me it's like, I get what you're saying by like blockers, and we all talk about this, right? Like there's times where yes, teams are like, I mean, if the blockers get involved into a team gunfight, the ball guys get into a team gunfight as a second guy when there's a whole team waiting for him, that's probably not the best play. But I feel like what you're describing, where I would be careful if I was coaching a team, would be if you leave the ball unpicked up and you're constantly expecting the third guy to pick it up, it makes your play way more like it's obvious what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Because the ball, like the timing of where the ball is picked up, also has an effect on how the team that's on the defensive side of things is going to play it. Because if the ball's not picked up, then they're obviously like, they're not stupid. They're not going to think, oh, the first two guys are just sitting there waiting for us to go to the ball. Like they know those players are actively making plays and the routes they can take. Like there's more to it than that. So like to me, the most important, like I would say more often than not, a team that's going to score a lot of goals in a game is going to be the team that controls the ball more often than not. Even if it's not the ideal situation where you can say, yeah, if the player did pick up the ball here, he can go play for kills. Yes, you can argue that. But at the same time, I feel like if the player picks up the ball, he has the ability to kind of maneuver his team and also how the opposing team is going to play by wrapping the ball around spawn or where he goes on the map.
1,000% correct.
The other part of it is you want to maximize your opportunities.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
I think that the last part of that to me is, and this is where to me this mode is still new, and we haven't seen teams kind of utilize that as much as they could yet because they just haven't figured out the best way to do these things. Moving the ball around, even in a situation you don't have kills, like creating teams to maneuver, you can like force basically your own choke points by moving the ball around. Like, you know where people are. If I move the ball back, let's say, I don't know, like hypothetically the ball's middle, then instead of going forward, I move the ball back towards my spawn if I'm on a team on the green side, what we're watching right now. And I go like, I don't know, let's say I go P2 side from my spawn.
Yeah.
Or sorry, P4 side. Like the players who are now on white team that are pushed up on the map, those guys are going to get aggressive because they're not just going to wrap back to P2 to play that. They're going to push up on the map, which then actively gives your players chance to get kills.
And you know, Ray, I've tweaked about this a lot in the watch party because I agree with you. And this is a point I make a lot. Is like teams don't use that ball indicator to your point of like causing people to readdress on the map.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. Like again, we've played this mode for like they've been playing this mode for like 2 months now. Like and all of what we're saying is really easy. I think this is the hardest mode to figure out where the line is in terms of like where people are going to be, because of one, where the spawns are, but two, because of how much like open space you can have in a lane by pushing, and knowing where people are is extremely difficult. I think even for pros.
No, it can be impossible, bro.
Yeah, as teams, but that's the thing to me is like the best way to help you do that, and if you maneuver the ball around, you can kind of like push the line where you want it to be, and you can like maneuver the ball in like a safer position to where your players are not holding chokes that you expect opposing players to push into because of where the ball is. And I think that's just kind of the strategy we'll see kind of being played as this mode evolves and goes on.
And it bit Falcons in the ass in this map and the other one they played, because at the end of both these fucking dens, the first one, they didn't pick up the ball against Gentlemates when it was in their own fucking base, and it reset and they got hemmed in overtime and fucking Overchild. And then the second
their
one,
OTs need work.
The second one actually almost played in their favor because they actually picked up the ball because they had the ball in possession. Actually, no, it was Boston, sorry, that had the ball in possession, wrapped it back to their spawn, and Falcons actually pushed up because they thought they were going to camp with it, right? Because the win condition OT is if we stay 4-4, like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just going to win. And then they lost the kind of mixed situation. So I agree with Ray, because we've talked about this all the time on the watch party. Like, people are not using misdirection of the ball indicator to open up space on offense.
I agree with that. Just the lead blocker thing, I had to have a little pushback.
Some teams are.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
I feel like they're starting. Like, and again, this is like, you got to think of meta and like it's a new mode. Like, it's obviously easy for us to see the minimap and like, oh, why didn't he push this? There's so much space here. Like, these things are way, way harder to figure out as players.
In-game and overload is hell.
Like, bro, like, have you been playing rank, Ben, at all?
Yes, but in particular, the reason I keep bringing this position up is I've watched that same play over and over in matches, and the success rate of the play is like sub 20%.
It's because they don't know if they have the space or not.
And, no, I know, but then
the last part of this
let me
talk for a second.
I understand.
That Ray didn't mention is you want to maximize your opportunities, and theoretically you can get two, right? Even if you push up and you guys end up dying, oh, they fucking spawn close, they killed the first blocker, we can at least fight again. If you like wait and you're waiting for the kills to come in, you might lose that first gunfight, and then they're all the way in your base scoring and rallying on you, right? So you don't want to like play too patient. And I know you're talking about some teams where you've seen players do or like not play patient and them scam. It's because they know we can at least get another opportunity on the next respawn. Which I understand, and my counter to is like, if that strategy is netting us a net success rate of 20%, and we're doing this 4 times a side, and we're reducing our ability to score points, like, shouldn't we do something different that has a better chance of us getting scores? That's the point I'm trying to make. I keep seeing the play, and the play doesn't work, and it works 1 out of every 6 times. Like, yeah, if we get 6 possessions, it'll work, but like, you may not necessarily get that. Well, I don't know if we've been watching though, and we saw like 3 times Kismet somebody flanked the window, and they just didn't get the kill, bro. Sometimes that's what happens. Like, we set up the right play, we get the pinch going, and one of the 2 guys didn't get their pinch kill, and we're just not going to score.
Can I propose an addition to the show next week? Ben can pull this up and we can do like a breakdown section of the show.
I would love to
and
do
just
that.
like talk about that, just so we can because I feel like what Ben's talking about is really specific to the situation, and I'd be thinking it'd be fun to talk about, just kind of debate on it and see what goes.
It's a good thought, because I've seen a lot of people talk about overload that way, like it just intercept their player, they need to be patient. I do feel like it's the more than hardpoint S&D where the X-ray might hurt the people watching a little bit, just because it is hell in game, bro. Like right here, this situation that Boston are in, you don't know if there's fucking 4 people here, because you don't know if these 2 spawned here. Like, you don't know, like they don't, so they're just like, all right, but we got a hard wait. Like,
yeah, and this is also a tough one because it's like there's 16 seconds left. We don't want to like.
yeah,
This one's tough. But again, I think the real meta combo I want to have is like, when is one blocker great? To Ray's point, when is two blockers great? Because the third guy should pick it up. And like, what are the what are the decisions and the roles you should make to maximize that? Or, you know what I'm saying? When do you need more blockers? When do we need to go with pace so we can maximize our timing?
It's a good combo. I don't think
anyone's figured that out yet.
The last thing
combo.
I want to talk about on this with you, Ray, real quick, I want to ask you, the former coach, high-level intellect Call of Duty player, how would you go about improving OT's sudden death situations as a team? Because I've seen two now with Falcons, and we're going to watch one here where I'll skip. I've seen two now with Falcons, and they've been in two unique situations. So they had one in their first match where the ball was like down and they were in their base, and like they didn't know if they wanted to grab it or not. I think it was it was both ends. And then the other one, yeah, and then the other one, Ben, the other team had the ball. So how do you prepare, Ray, for that situation as pro teams in practice?
Can you tell me first off what are the actual T rules and actual CDL play comparatively to, like, do they get the mini map shit? Are all the players dots still showing up? Like, what do they see?
I think it's one scan. I'm pretty sure it's one scan. The mini map, I'm not sure, but if the team that has ball, if it's tied in man situation, like 3v3, and team that has ball will win. So that's what our team has to push, and then
no, I get the winning conditions in terms of like even numbers. It's a tie. Even numbers with ball wins, right?
Yes, even numbers with ball wins. Yes, even number.
If I have a 3v4 but I have ball, do I still win, or is it numbers?
You would lose.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then does the ball give you a ping on the map or anything like that?
I'm pretty sure it's one ping. Unless rank's different than what they play, it just gives me one ping in the beginning.
I don't know. Does anyone know?
I think it's one initial sweep and that's it, right?
Yeah, I think it's one initial sweep.
Gotcha.
So, but how would you emulate this in practice? Because even when you talk to the pros, they're like, "Yeah, we just don't have a lot of practice in the sudden death situation." So,
yeah, it's not easy. I mean, I think it's more theory and discussions about how you expect things to go on.
Oh, no pings at all. Okay.
Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, no pings at all. Holy shit!
That's fucking wild, bro.
I think the biggest thing you can kind of adjust to this, and the biggest talking point would be like, how do we want to play the last 10-15 seconds of the map leading into overtime? Like, what are we trying to like we know the game is going to go into a draw. Nobody has position on anything. Like, what are we trying to create based on the space we have, based on different situations? I think the play Miami made it was against FaZe, right? Where Rancor pinched. I think it was against FaZe because it closed it out.
It was our exposure, right?
No, it was Scar. Can you go actually pull it up? Pull it up. That was a really good end game. Like, Rancor actively made a pinch through plain side to top green, and then pinched P2 from like depths, and then literally like timed it to a place where they got kills as the round ended, and then you just went for a cap. They got like a bunch of kills at the very end. Like that to me is like a talking point you would go for. But if it's like a straight, if we're talking like old school sabotage where like both teams on their side of the map and the round's about to end, bro, like I'm honestly like telling I would rarely be in a position where I'm telling my team to play to win the round. I would say like like if we're to bet, unless you're a team you feel like you got lucky to get there, like, and you're like we're probably not going to beat him in a replay, then you maybe like play aggressively for the win. But yeah, I'm literally playing in a place where I'm trying to get info. Info is everything to me. Like, you're trying to find positions. I would go maybe in like a just lobby and talk about what are the positions on each side that we feel most valuable to hold to just get info on the map. And then in rare cases where you get a chance to maybe catch a scammer, you go for it. But like, honestly, I think it's more about just being stable and just not losing the round.
So
if
Miami
you get gifted the round,
yeah,
you go for it. But yeah.
So to your point, or here, Ray, with this situation, Miami actually win this. I think this is still regulation. So they just set it up prior to the end. Yeah.
This is where I would talk. These are the points here where I would talk about how we want to play this. Like the last 15, 20, because a lot of teams right now, if you look towards the end game, will start playing like OT before it even gets to OT. Yeah. And to me, that is the wrong thought process. I think you have a better chance, especially if a team's going to play slow and stable. Like, you have a better chance to actively make a play to win before the round ends than obviously when it ends. I mean,
what a brilliant fucking play out of Rencor here. Yeah. Realistically, look at this. Look at the situation. There's 39 seconds left. There's a guy in their base, Abuza, which I'm pretty sure they know. Let me just rewind to be sure. Yeah, they do, because he just killed Super, right? And then you got a guy pushed up Montel in Rancor. He's playing like first line. He must die here. Yeah, he dies. Right. So it's a 2v3. So I guess in this situation, they're recognizing like FaZe is probably playing for like OT and around ball control. So I mean, by all accounts, it's a huge risk, but it's a brilliant play. Like he's straight up setting up OT.
Yeah, it is. And the timing on it's kind of crazy because if Abuza actually goes top window and just looks left as he runs through, he'll actually see Rancor, which is kind of funny. If Rancor had been top lane and this would have played out actually even crazier because those two would have sat there in a gunfight.
Yeah,
There's a guy in the middle. It would have been an absolute fucking mix off. Right?
Yeah.
Absolute mix.
I think
Miami's been really good at this pressure, like put pressure, like basically play for a pinch while you hold the other side.
Yeah.
Miami's really good at like just sitting and holding and not scamming. Like you saw he was playing that, like I don't know what you call the little wooden hut there, where he's playing off angle on the
playground.
on the
I call it behind him.
Yeah, like right here, soup. Yeah, like that was like playing the offie on that. Like if Rancor is calling for them to play safe and they're actually all playing that way, then this play is going to work more often than not.
Yeah, because he has his cross.
FaZe player scamming for it.
He has like
so
Deli, and then he has the offie here just ratting. But like it's a lot of risk, obviously. But like
there's a bunch of timing that came into here because if Abuza was actually still back bust and he gets killed, then the last guy turns and they try. This honestly was just great timing at a Rancor. He does, but I'm saying if Abuza was still exposed and Rancor ends up actually shooting at him, the guy who's not engaged with these guys yet at B or like one's actually going to turn and actually square with him.
Yeah, because you
know number 8
headed
Chris.
into OT, you don't want to grab the ball, right? So you know that like if the team's by ball, like you can make a big play.
Go pull up the Falcon situation versus Gentlemates. Well, that's the situation where they should have picked.
It's so situational.
It is so situational. But
that's why to me, like you're never going to be able to control the very end of the round situation. What you can control is like the last 20, 30 seconds.
Not that
how
one.
you set them up.
Other
like
series.
and that's like as a coach, that's what I put my focus on. Like it's really how you go about
second row right.
situations.
Second row, parts on the right.
I like that, Ray, and I'm gonna take that into my rank games because I get to some OT situations where I'm like, fuck, dude, should I be playing a kill when there's like 15 seconds left? Like just hard playing it. Like it's Overload is like the hardest game mode. And I'm sure it's the same for the pros.
It's so team based. Like, it's so team based, right? Like it's a mess, bro.
this is first side. If you go to second side,
the reason I thought it was a good discussion this week is because Riyadh got into the sudden death from both ends of the spectrum here, and they lost both of them. Where it's like, fuck, what do we do? So right here, look at this situation. So let's rewind a little bit before. Wait, this is the second half. I gotta get to OT. Hold up. Oh.
No, you were in the OT. You got back.
Yeah. So the ball's like on roofs and they were having like a push. They stop it. So like right here, they're just kind of like this is a hard decision. Like in my head when I was watching, I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, do we like grab the rock? Like, should we push up? We just got kills.
I would grab.
Would you? Like, I would be kind of scared to grab because like, let's see.
Here's my thought process. I would grab and I would bring this ball towards B point.
Correct.
Right when they killed Neptune, maybe, yeah.
Like you grab ball, you run back, like ball guy B point. You have like one or two guys watching a front push, like you're playing info on where they're gonna push from, and you force them to go to your left. They're not gonna play front. They front. They're insane. Whoa. And then you get a chance at like you get a chance at getting blood winnable gunfights when they push through, and they have to push you because you have ball, right?
You have no info here though, right? So like, I actually think about the situation if you're on the team. They're all four pushing. You just all four spawn. You have no info.
Sorry, my screen's a little delayed. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm watching from your stream.
So they killed 3.
Pause it to where you like. Once you get 3
4.
dead, right?
Oh, they're tripping. They killed all 4.
Sure,
I didn't realize they killed all 4. Yeah, grab ball.
Yeah, 4 dead here. Yeah, you grab ball.
And when I was mumbled, I had to explain this to my co-host. I was like, okay, like I kind of. You go to race point. You go B. These guys tweak their way in the lobby. You get 1, and now it's just like we can play this. We have our win conditions are so big. Now look how narrow it is.
Also,
because Gentlemates could just sit here and hold all the cuts, and they win.
Can I just say this, Ben? Yeah, we all just spawn B. I'm sure. Yeah, I'll just say that another part. And then 2 spawn bottom mid. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So even if we did get aggressive, we'll just put that out there. But yeah, so they sit back. They probably should have grabbed the ball. But even if they wrapped it, these guys are all the way up mid. Like.
No, but if you're gonna play, like to me, Falcons shoot themselves in the foot right away here. If you're gonna play this safe, you need the ball, or else you're just giving them ball control and they're just gonna win the round.
Yep.
Right? Like if number 4 pick, like let's say the round had 5 seconds left and Gentlemates pick up the ball, they win the round.
They win the round, yeah.
But then this makes no sense.
OT
Bro,
is
why are
hell.
we-
The part that made me tweak is they sit here for 30 seconds. At no point did they like, let's try to like take lobby together or go broken and shimmy and see if anyone's middle or push out B and try.
Well,
like,
this is a
they
good
don't
play
try
if he
to
has
get
help.
any info. Bro,
So-
they spent 30 seconds getting zero info.
To me, they shot themselves in the foot from the get. Like, this is unwinnable.
Yeah.
This guy's trolling. I mean, bro, they just don't know where they are. But like, dude, we got to hit something out together, I guess.
But but then where do you hit? The ball's on the left. You can't really hit out right. Hitting left when you have P2 is like breaking P2 from the back.
Well, right
which
here,
is freaking impossible.
right here, like it's. Listen, all right. I think we should relax and say it's that bad because right here, if you get a pick, you can play out of your base and you win. Right?
Fuck no, it is terrible. They got 4 kills. Pick up the fucking ball.
I see.
We're not excusing that. I'm sorry.
I think OT's
This is where I feel like as a coach, again, like to me, the better coach wouldn't really talk about what happened after. Like everything that happens after the round goes into OT is a product of what the decision was made before the round ended, where we can pick the ball. So like everything we talked from this point on is just like hindsight. Like it's like you can talk about any small situations, any decision they make, yeah, sure, but all this is situational shit the player has to figure out in the moment. There's no coaching going on here. This is literally a product of what we did to end the round when we have 4 dead, we hit the ball, we had control of the round, and then we were playing like this is. I don't know exactly what the thought process is with Falcons, just because if they wanted to sit back, you need to sit back with the ball. If you sit back with a ball, you lose a round, period. Like the round was over.
No, their thought process is we're going to get a kill on a guy being aggressive, and then we're going to play out of our base. That's their plan there, for sure.
There's no thought process.
Because if you get there is another end of it. Yes, there is. Because Ben, if they kill one, and then that other team's forced to then get ball and try to score, more than likely, and then it's a 4v2 with a guy with a pistol. Yes, that's their thought. I'm not saying it's ideal, but it's not as bad as we're making out to seem, for sure.
I'm telling you,
like whoa, Ben, let me take this over here.
Go ahead.
I'm with you here. Like, so we get 4 down, right? And we get 4 down, and we sit in our base. We don't push out to take any space. We give Gentlemates ball control. Gentlemates has 0 reason to move up on the map. Gentlemates can literally play around P2. Yeah, they can sit back around the ball. Like, so why are we saying that there's like, I mean, there could have been a thought process too. I'm not saying there wasn't, but I don't think there's any defending that wasn't the right thought process, or that was the right thought process. Sorry, like there's like the way Falcons played at the end of it is literally a losing. Like you lost.
They
like,
just don't want to have a pistol win the round from that point. I mean, they want to get a pick.
Yeah, no, I get that concept, but to me that's the point. Is like teams think that like playing the haram, what was it, the haram ball, or playing back in your base, like especially in OT, who cares if the ball's near a point? If they get to a point where they kill the ball guy near the objective, the round's over anyways.
Yeah.
Like so why even care about that? Like to me, you split the map in half. You don't try and play for the whole map. Like you don't keep the ball in the back of your middle base. You put the ball in a safe spot to where you're forcing people to push through.
So this is what Boston did. So this is the same situation, vice versa, where Boston ended up winning. So basically what you're saying, it works in this scenario, but it's just OT. It's so many decisions happening at once that like I don't absolutely.
It's going to benefit the teams that have good communication, can talk to each other and decide. And unfortunately, a team like Falcons, which I'm not a big fan of their comms, I think OT happened to Ray's point.
On, man. Don't go to that narrative. I don't think that's.
I mean, I just think they sat there and there was no fucking plays being called because they didn't try to get any info for 30 seconds.
I got some advice
what do you think's going on in the communication for 30 seconds of calls? What do you think they're doing in the comms for 30 seconds where they don't move on the map?
No, but it's again. The split there was like a split second decision after you get 4 down there where they have to make an active decision on what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's where the mistake happened. And that's not really like a calm thing. That's just like someone has to make a decision for the team there. They have to be calling something, and the call was made to not pick up the ball and just play safe, which was just the wrong call in that situation.
This gunfight, you're never going to win this gunfight.
I think that's fair to your perspective of like, let's not nitpick what happened once OT happened. Everything's a product of us making the wrong decision before OT ended, which I think is probably the right way to think about it, right?
It has to be.
I love that discussion. I think it's a great one to have, and we're going to revisit it a lot because, like I said, you just can't really practice the OT situations. And Falcons definitely got enough practice this week. So if they're starting winning OTs going forward, we'll know who put in a lot of work talking about it. But also, last part, this one-on-one gunfire here, you're just never going to win, bro. This shit is hell. When I'm hard aiming this and somebody slides into it, I'm dying every time, bro. It's just tough.
I need you to share Discord.
I think there's a clip somewhere.
I hate this fight,
of a Benji and C maybe gunning either a Nameless or a Study in this situation.
Not me.
I think it may have happened in the tournament where I was window and I actually ripped someone.
officially.
Yeah. I put the tweets in the chat. We have a Toronto KY tweet and an Optic tweet. They're both in the Twitch chat.
Okay, bet. Let's see. All right, here we go. 8 Kips in. Wait, did they? Obviously.
Okay, well that's one. That's one. So they just tweeted that like a second ago.
For Remainder Stage 2, Riyadh moves to the bench while we test a new look. We'll revisit the lineup after Major 2. Flame us if you must, but keep supporting Riyadh and the boys.
Who's flaming them?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Hello? Nobody's flaming them for that move. Yo, what?
Bro, like...
Okay, we lost the plot, bro. Questionable tweets out of Toronto camp, bro. They tweeted out a roster change a few weeks ago. Like, come on, bro. Like,
dude, if I'm Riyadh, like, I'm sitting there like, bro, trade me. Like, get me up out of here. Dude, riding the bench is tough. It can hurt your whole year. If they plan to bench him and then bring him back, like, or potentially bring him back, dude, he's in a tough spot. I actually feel kind of bad for Riyadh because that's a broken system. Like,
but he's gonna go play with Omit though. He just got announced early this afternoon. He's gonna play him at Brooklyn with
whatever.
Asim, Fellow and Brad.
Before we move forward, didn't that happen with Joe DeCease with LATs in Mountain 3? Didn't he get benched and come back?
He went to play with the Stallions.
But it's not like Joe had showed some crazy like dominance before. Like Joe DeCease, like when he came back is when he became the Joe DeCease that we talk about now. Riyadh was already a star, borderline superstar. Like he would get picked up immediately to a pretty good team probably right now. You know what I mean? So I think it's a bit different of a situation. Like with Joe, he's probably like, I actually need to get confidence. I actually need to like learn a little bit more.
No, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the way that I look
I get you. It's a little different. I get you. I just don't like. I wouldn't to a point where I don't think it ruins the reality here. And to be completely honest, Toronto's not just going to release him because they know another team's going to pick him up for free, so they're going to try and get something for him.
Gotta try.
I would assume that's more what's going to happen.
Yeah, I just read this tweet and it doesn't exactly incite if I'm another team, like, oh, Riyadh's available. Like that's not.
No, wait, 100% it doesn't.
Okay, fair enough.
If another team and I see a tweet like that, like if another team's interested, they're for sure going to reach out to Toronto.
I guess I'm just thinking about the way Toronto's operated and kind of their owner, Adam Mowes. I could see him being like, well, we'll test it, but we might bring him back. We'll see.
I mean, but it's still going to spur a discussion. Like you're still going to knock on the door and ask. Like they might just say they're not ready, and that's so be it. But,
no, Indigo, Riyadh hasn't been good this year, but we all know that kid is talented. Like, it's got to
also. To address something in my chat, Joe is not Toronto's best player when he got benched. Thieves' best player when he got benched. Yeah. Joe is actually making a lot of dumbass fucking plays.
Yeah, he had to learn.
And the key issue that Joe had to learn that he was struggling in was that he was not translating practice to matches in the VOD session. And that's what he worked on a lot when he went to Stallions, because I talked about this with him on stream, was like figuring out how he individually has to learn and get better. And then he figured that out. He figured out what worked for him. And then he applied that when he got picked back up, and that's how he's fine now. So.
I don't see an Optic tweet.
And word to Tom, he became a Stallion.
Stallion.
Optic didn't tweet anything. Was it Optic or Optic Texas?
Regular Optic. Regular Optic.
Okay. A new chapter begins. Congrats, Kips, on making the league. Hey, man. Yo, shout out to Zinni. Shout out to the Huntsman, bro. Shout out to the Huntsman, bro. Moving people on up. GMC1.
I know Zin was trying to do the Challengers thing last year and they couldn't figure it out. And then this year they saw a really good opportunity with their Halo players to kind of kickstart it. And I hope that this is a long-term thing for Optic. I think having the Huntsman as an academy product, even if some of these guys don't ever necessarily end up in their team, is great from all perspectives. They're developing guys.
I agree.
They're developing players ready for the league, and like it creates good stories. Like it's a really good move, and I really like their team now. I mean, they're obviously going to pick up. I don't know if you saw, but they pick up Ojani to and Dimension. So it's Ojani, Rispy.
I saw the Dimensions. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good squad.
Let's move to the call-ins. Call-ins were super fun last week. I hope you guys bring that same type of energy. It's actually been like my favorite part of these episodes last week. It is.
It's great, bro.
Yeah, repost the link so people can join.
I just posted the link, guys. I'll drop another new link. You guys can come in and ask the question. Yes.
Yeah, I'll pin it. So when you repost it, I'll pin it.
I just posted it. Pull up, guys. Come through. I'm gonna invite the first guy, Boyle, and then you guys can join on in, and we'll get more of you guys in here. Try to run through these. Yeah, put your hand up when you guys are ready.
Let's know when the Optic map starts. We can also put that on the screen too.
Yeah,
while we
I'll do
do some of those call-ins.
Who's
Boyle,
live?
if you're here, you've been. Is anyone live? Oh yeah, it's live. Okay.
Oh, we just had like 4 people drop out of the audience here. What happened? Here,
Now they're
I'll,
getting back in. Skip.
I'll invite this guy first. Yo, what up, J Wald?
Yo, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Chilling, man.
What up?
Hi. As a Miami Heretics fan, with the struggles of Real, do you see it being a possibility that if their players start to struggle, they move back to him?
We brushed on that a little earlier. It is. I don't know what kind of beef that offseason move created to know if it's. I mean, you never know really what's going on. If the players wanted him back, I'm sure they would probably try and make the moves for it. It didn't seem like the players had any kind of hatred, so I think it's definitely possible there. I don't think Trakes has played bad or like, dude. He's played good enough. Yeah, he's played really better than good enough right now, so far this game to be proving that he belongs on the team. So, would you as a fan prefer to see Real back?
No, I thing is when Real left, it was pretty tough. Like, I mean, he had
Right.
been a really key player for us. I was pretty skeptical on Trakes, but he's definitely been proving himself the past couple weeks here. I'm just thinking, like, as a possibility, like, I mean, people talk about Metals all the time with his
Yeah,
inconsistent
I
play.
could see
If
that.
Metals were to struggle again, do they bring back Real?
I could see that.
Interesting.
That was gonna be my answer to that. Is if they see something special in Trakes, which I think we all kind of see, and I think Metals is a fine player. I think he's fine for that team. But I could see a world, not saying I would do it, where that camp looks at it and goes, "Hey, maybe we can, get to that next level and win a championship if we get a little more firepower." I could see them making that decision for sure. And in terms of like the camp, I think that they still are friends, the players with Real, because I was playing ranked the other day and I played against Real and Rancor twice and then with them on my team. So the boys are still late night gaming, hanging out in a call together. So they're definitely still boys.
Nice.
So I could for sure see a world where that happens. Yeah, like if they bomb out the major or something.
All right, sweet. I mean, that's. Oh, Ben, sorry, my bad.
I think that the more likely thing is what Ant proposed at the beginning. Like, I think the Falcons guys are sitting here like, if we have the money and we know our situation's maybe a little bit tenuous, do we pick up Real and have that option for us going forward? I think that's a fairly likely destination at the moment.
It just complicates things with Real's performance in this title and how Miami currently look, right? This would require like Miami to probably bomb out, like in like a bomb out for them as a top 8. And yeah, but we'll see. Thanks for the question, Bear.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks, guys, for having us.
No problem.
Yeah, that would be Real's problem if he's like really wants to go back and they just keep playing well. You just never have an opportunity. Let's invite Rebellions in here. Yo, what's up, dude?
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, just making sure. All right, so hear me out. I'm thinking if this whole thing happens with Real, what about Real going to Boston for the nasty trade? And then you could actually drop Purge, and then you could start looking at like a Kenny pickup or something like that, or Insight. If they do, you could see a weird scenario where Toronto and Boston kind of hybrid swap rosters here. I know that's a long shot, but that's just kind of my thoughts working through this whole roster scenario with both teams right now.
If you're in Boston's position and you allow the trade of Nasty going away, who do you feel like is easier replacing? You feel like the move for a Purge, replacing Purge with Real is going to be easier or harder than finding a replace for Nasty?
I feel like it is harder, but if Toronto do move on from Insight, you do have that scenario where you can have an Insight pick up. Or, I mean, Kenny is on the table. I know everyone's kind of down on Kenny right now, but that's another option as well. I'm just thinking if you are going to move Nasty, that if you can get Real for that, I feel like it's not the worst scenario, especially if you can pick up an AR as a replacement there.
I don't know.
So like it might work.
It's just like you look at best available player there, and you're just like Nasty's the best in this discussion right now.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I don't see Boston moving away from Nasty. Just
Neither.
again, that it would take a lot more for Toronto to make that move happen. I don't know what they could
my
offer,
initial
really.
thing was nasty for Real with, I mean, this is kind of maybe too sports like, but cash considerations only because, I know Boston lip reading Austin and stuff from the Bush thing, it looked like Boston. So I was just thinking maybe there's a way there where Boston can kind of move him and at least get some value for Nasty.
You know
if they're
what?
ready
How
to
much
move.
cash?
I do think both teams might get
It's a
better.
great question.
Might get better. That is a really good hypothetical. And it would be
I don't know.
probably the first of its kind in CDL. But both teams probably get better, Ray. Like realistically, right? Like Real and Boston, and maybe you find another AR, and then Nasty would, if Kleenex finds success again on the SMG, which I think we both agree would probably happen, they would probably get better.
I think Toronto's extremely happy if that move happens, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
think Toronto becomes
think-
disgusting if they can
I think
land
they're-
Nasty. But I do think it's interesting for Boston.
I just don't like the
Definitely
cash
is.
thing is always interesting, and it's something that gets brought up a lot because, like, obviously regular sports do these things. Like the number would have to be a point where, like, I don't know if the move warrants this enough, but like if I'm Boston, I want money that's gonna like almost pay for my roster and potentially give me a chance to get like a star player next year or something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't think that's gonna
Ben.
happen. I don't think the move is
Wow.
big enough for that. But yeah.
What are the logistics around that? Like, we haven't seen anything even close to that, right? Like a player for player with cash where both teams feel like they're kind of winning a little bit on both sides. Have we seen anything even close to that?
I mean, I think that got almost done in the hypothetical Seattle for the Seattle Optic trade that got nixed, where Brandon would have gone the other way and Pred would have gone to Optic and there was cash. But I don't
okay.
know if Seattle. Ray's laughing, but like
I'm not
I know
gonna,
you're in the middle. I know
was
you're in the middle of that
deal
one.
there, so I'm not.
I know you're in the middle of that one.
I'm keeping
like,
that one dark, boys. Sorry.
I know you don't. I think that one. I don't know the likelihood of that one happening because I know there was a lot going on, and some stuff got said. But like, you know, it could happen. It's just got to be like the right. It's got to be the right situation. I will say one thing that might make these more likely now is that if teams are starting to actually like hold more than 4 players now, you know what I'm saying, from an academy standpoint, like you might see more of these transactions actually like happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because there's a lot more assets in play.
Well, thank you for the
Yeah, I agree. And
hypothetical.
then lastly,
Brilliance. Oh, go ahead.
and then one last little thing. I think with it's interesting with encouraging them going to C9, and then Omid just announced that they dropped a Luca to pick up Real on their roster. I don't think it's far fetched to say you see a Luca on Stallions at some point, just because it makes too much sense.
Oh yeah, probably.
Potentially. Yeah. I'm
So,
actually
all right,
curious.
well, take it easy, fellas.
Thank you,
Sorry.
appreciate it, man. Very good. Appreciate you. I actually like to what he just said about Luka again. Drop is interesting to me because he was the praised like next player up at the start of the year, right? Am I mistaken there?
He was.
Like
Yeah.
phase locked him in.
Crazy press.
Like something clearly has happened. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the extent of things. Like they did not perform. They had a rough go at Major 1, right? Am I crazy when I said it?
Luca,
Like their team, the OMA team. Well,
they
whatever
got
team
top
the league
8.
was on.
I mean, he dropped like a 1 on land. I think for Luca, it's like I think he's got takeover potential, but he's got to define a more like stable game that will play out at the CDL level because you can like, but no, you can laugh though.
No,
but,
I'm
like,
laughing
you
at
guys
what
know,
he
like,
said. Rafi got 20K from Kason for free. it's just
And I
just
don't,
silly.
but it's like but like 20, like it's just a silly way to look at it. It's like
Yeah.
it's a 20K and you develop
silly,
him and he
dude.
ends up being a player that wins them multiple fucking championships. Then who cares about the 20? Like the thing is, I think with the Luca when you watch him play is like,
what the hell's Hook
you
standing
know,
on?
he can get kills and he can take over, but like, can he make more? I don't know how to say this other than plays for the win. You guys
He needs to be
panel, you know what I
developed.
mean
Yeah,
by
yeah.
that.
We know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
he
Ben.
needs-
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Very good. I get it.
That's just how I know. Very few rooks come in. They know how to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At all.
Are you not a little worrisome that the player you invested in, because they bought him out for a moment to start with, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but he's
Would you
also
not be-
18 and just moved here. Like I think.
Yeah,
Would
but
you
you
not be
bought
a
him for
little
a reason.
worried?
Too.
Yeah, but would you not be? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm overthinking it here, but would you not be worried if your phase, having bought that player and invested into him, and then the team that you bought him from, that was still going to roster him under challenger team, that is clearly one of the better challenger team, just drops him for another player? Is that kind of weird to me?
No.
I mean,
Because
I
he's
think it's
basically-
definitely
he's ba-
concerning. What?
I think but I don't. It depends on if your plan is for him to come in this year. If your plan is that like we have a 2 or 3 year window
Well-
for him, then like why? Like that's just a short term complication. It's maybe there are reasons he got dropped and there's lessons he needs to learn, but he's fucking 18. He's not 25.
Right.
Like he's not in the
I'm
prime of his
more-
career.
I'm more thinking in the sense of like, I think we all agree that Fellow is probably one of the main guys you want to play if you're in challengers or playing players of that extent that will teach you the intangibles. And like a lot of players have come through Fellow in the last couple of years being league ready because of playing with him.
Mm-hmm.
Or like in part of it. Like, and now he doesn't have that anymore. Like whatever team he goes to next, if there's not that experience, then it's gonna obviously shade into his development potential.
For sure.
And
yeah.
like the intangibles don't come in as quick or easy anymore because of that. Like that's more my thought process around that.
But I was a counter. The unique thing about this, and I don't think either person has really talked about it, but I wonder, as part of this Parsons Ruiz on phase, how much is Christian RJ getting involved in his development? Like, are they talking to him on a daily or weekly basis? Are they aligning with, his current teammates, current coaching staff and challengers on like the thing, like I don't know what that process looks like. If they're all aligned and working whatever soft skills are, then like I wouldn't be too worried. But if that's not happening and you're just hoping that he's just learning what he learns on his challengers team and that we think he's like, it may not pan out,
Right.
Well, I just don't know.
We don't know what's happening in their camp. Maybe they're watching VOD with him every day, and if they are, then good on them. But I definitely raises questions when that happens, especially for a guy who's like next up.
Next caller.
Yeah, next caller. Let's get Slushy in here. Sorry, I was just kind of locked in. Shotzi was getting torqued on. The back green spawn is diabolical, bro. You're spawning back green, you have no chance, dog.
It's also map one of the first fucking scrim of the day.
On the first,
so someone's always
on the first 3 hills, Ray. You get back green spawns, you're just getting railed. Like you just gotta hope somebody gets a 2E.
P2 doesn't feel. I mean, obviously you got to pinch if you're on P2, but like I feel like the back green spawn on P3 has got to be the most depressing spawn in the game.
Yeah, it sucks.
And P1 low key, Ray. P1 as well.
Yeah,
like if there's a guy white wall and there's a guy pushed up RV in between motel right here where you're gonna be delayed, but where Buddy was just at. Just spawn killing you, you're screwed. This map, that's why we're seeing these. Yeah.
I say they scam and they're exposed to mid cut, and you just go mid cut and shoot a guy in the hell in the back. They all twig, but that should.
I would still argue the back P3 spawn is worse.
Yeah,
depressing.
Yeah, that shit should never happen.
It is.
I'm immediately taking a router on P2 when I spawn there, bro. I'm done going front.
I think
it's just miserable and ranked.
It's so miserable, bro. It's like somebody get a 2-piece, please, or somebody please rip the guy off plane. I'll try. I'm dead.
Yeah, literally.
All right, Slushy, I invited you in here, bro. Your hands up. Join up.
Slushy.
I'll invite Joker.
Yeah, invite someone else. Who joins?
There we go. What up, Dodge Joser?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, what? I'm gonna move you, Slushy, because Joser joined first, and I'll move you right back.
Oh, just mute. You just mute.
Yeah, just mute.
Just mute Sushi for a second.
Gotcha.
Joser, what up, man? You got a question?
Yeah, how many times can a team get a rough draw at a tournament, and at what point should they consider roster changes?
Who are you talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, you gotta say who you're talking about, because the hypothetical questions really help us. Are you talking about like the Falcon situation where they played phase for top 6?
That's what I was referring to.
Oh, I mean, they had a good tournament.
So how many majors?
I mean, here's the thing, bro. There's a phrase that gets used a lot. Ray and Ann are going to laugh, but they're going to also agree. You got to beat the best to be the best. Top draws happen, but if you want to be an elite team, you beat those fucking teams. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, come on, man. You just prefaced that phrase with that, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
All right, here, let me get to the bottom of this a little bit more.
I'm getting entertainment, bro. It's all good. I'm getting entertainment. It's all good.
Let's expand on this. All right, so why are you asking this first and foremost? I
was just wondering, any teams or what is the cutoff line?
Okay.
So here's how I would answer this. I would say like obviously performance and majors are important, but you obviously take into consideration who you play and what happened
and how you play.
I think the importance part of it to me really is just the daily playing is what's going to induce kind of changes if there were any changes to make, like your scrims, your regular online matches, and obviously you probably take on major as a little more weight. But it's not just because like I just had a rough major that I want to make a change. If the team's actually like kind of the Falcon situation per se, like we talked earlier, is clearly progressing and getting better as time goes on, then until they stagnate and they don't get to the point of getting better, at that point, if they don't perform well, regardless of the bracket they get on land, then that's when you kind of preface the change. But I wouldn't say like let's say I think what you're describing maybe is like if they had a tough bracket for the 4 events this year, like maybe I guess that's kind of that'd be a weird situation to be in. realistically, more often than not, those situations don't repeat themselves
Yeah.
super often.
And you can avoid those sometimes by performing better online. So there's so much nuance that goes into it, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, it just all depends on the one. All right, to answer it, it depends on the expectations of the team and kind of like what happens from there. Like for example, a Thieves team, like other teams might have stayed together after that LAN performance, but like the Thieves team were like, no, we need to be winning, right? So expectations play a huge factor. Like if Genomates were performing how Riyadh was, they'd probably be broken up already, right? So I can't answer that in a blanket way for every team. There's no like set time. But thank you for the question.
Will they ever go back to where they pick who's in whose group, or never going back to that?
Well, we need 16 teams.
That format. The problem is everybody was okay. If you do that again, which they wouldn't, you can't pick the same team in back-to-back stages because the way that got weird in Cold War is there were in particular a couple of teams. Florida was one of them, where I think they were picking like Paris in the other group. Like they just made the same pick 3 times, and it like didn't. You end up having groups of the same teams. I think if you went to 16, you would just do 4-round robin, or you would do like 2 groups of 8 based on seeding. Like you wouldn't do the pick your opponent bullshit they did before.
Also, Ben, what Ray's saying in chat, dude, Optic are tippable, bro. Like Shotzi.
Look at us playing, bro.
Yeah, this is great. Just control.
Bro, was it 3? They're Optic's getting outslayed by 1-60 right now.
This is why on Scar sometimes teams get blundered and you start off 1-15, but you can still win. It's just how the map works. It's probably the easiest map in this game, low key.
All right, guys, that was it.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate it, man.
I sidebarred.
Appreciate
No problem.
Slushy, you can unmute. What up, dude?
Yo, what's up, gentlemen? How we doing today?
Better about yourself.
Good. So, look, this question or take may be a little faded, but as a FaZe fan and watching this season progress, I feel like there's been multiple games and winning scenarios. And I want to preface this by saying I think this player has a lot of potential and is an extremely good player. But when I'm watching these certain scenarios with FaZe, it seems like 04 is really struggling to get important kills on the map. Now, it's not just an 04 problem in my opinion, but I guess my question or take would be, at what point does FaZe look to upgrade in that position or sub a Luca in? I just feel like,
oh nah.
Like I said, dude, like there's just so many kills where it's like if 04 gets his 1, they're in a better winning position. Am I faded?
Yes, you're
Why
faded.
Are you talking
Go ahead,
about
Ray.
twin like that? Why are you talking about my twin like that?
Am I tripping or was Simp not the reason they lost this last series? Like it wasn't even 04. I'm pretty sure Simp got fucking slammed.
Well,
Sure. I mean, yeah, when you look at that, when you look at that particular series, and how rare is that for Simp though? I mean, that's like a one-off series for him. I think it would be.
Well, I'm just saying that's the only way you could. They played a good major, and they like.
Yeah, but let me expand this. Like, I think the thing with 04 is like, again, FaZe has got 3rd. They arguably, if they didn't choke on Colossus S&D, should have at least made the grand final. Like, they're still a good team. The thing that maybe limits their consistency is like, everybody in the team has had pop-offs so far and consistent back-to-back performances. They have not gotten that from 04. And I know the aggressive role and the way that he plays is very difficult for them to slay, but like right now he's averaging a 0.9 this season.
Okay.
I actually don't think that's correct. He's averaging a 0.94 in the
season. We're going to let Ant test limits? We're not going to let twin test limits?
Yeah, we can't let twin test limits.
No. Hear me out. I don't think they're in a let's drop 04 situation right now. I think the only way that they consider it is they don't think they can win, aka probably getting like back-to-back top 6. And right. he's dropping 0.9s, and they're like, well, we're just losing because we need more slaying in that standpoint. But I think it now with how good they are in the other 2 modes outside of hardpoint, like I don't think they're in like.
Well, I guess it's concerning because when you look at FaZe historically over the course of the last 2 years, a struggling sub not being able to get kills and respawn has been pretty much their biggest issue. So to see it happening again is just concerning. So that's why I raised the question.
I mean,
but like they're like I don't know. But their issue with Tyler and Chris subs the last 2 years is they had a similar problem to Thieves, bro. They were a great breaking team, but they fucking sucked ass and they rotated and just scammed at the beginning of Hills. Remember all the fucking Haciendas we watched where they scammed out of fucking P2 when that map first came in? That was basically the summation of a lot of their issues in hardpoint like last year, you know?
Yeah,
With the whole team.
yeah.
With this
04
team now, I think just sometimes they just have inconsistent slaying. They go off to cold starts and hardpoint.
Yeah, I don't think I disagree with the general thought that like 04 is a bit inconsistent, but also he's playing a really hard role, dude. Like he's got that role that he plays is one of the hardest, if not the hardest in the game. And a
I
point,
agree, but when Simps your sub duo and Abuza is your AR, it's easier than most people's jobs.
okay, but
Where's
you
Racing?
can
I'm
you can
curious.
say that, but all the top teams have a player on that level, like in the tier that FaZe is in, right? So it's not like they're going in every series and you're sitting there like, okay, I mean, my teammate's way better than the other team subs, so I got to keep pace. Like that's just not going through their head. They're just trying to play good COD, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
And I'm not even gonna say
Yeah.
this. Do me a favor and go to Breaking Point.
Yeah.
Hold up on your screen and go to the team stats, and then tell me where's FaZe ranking and all the KD stats on each mode.
You want me to go to LAN or just on, or like everything?
Just everything. It covers everything.
So you said go to player stats and then sort by the team.
No, team. Go to stats and go to team stats.
Okay.
And then team stats.
Team
setting on player
KD.
stats.
Like this is all we need to
Okay.
look at, bro.
Yeah, this is
Okay. Wait, hold up. We start there. Then go to HPKD. Where's FaZe and HPKD?
Yeah, third overall.
Okay, where's FaZe and SNDKD?
Let's see. FaZe number 1. So yeah, what are we
Where's
talking about
FaZe-
kills
where's
for?
Where's FaZe and Overload?
Overload
KD?
number 1.
So
And
here's
the number
here's
1
here's
overall.
Sloosh,
Look at
here's
this difference.
Here's a conception and understanding that isn't obvious to just amass. Like there's
Sure,
always
yeah.
going to be players that will do certain things for a team that will open up different avenues for the players that get kills to get their kills. Like not everyone is going to be able to get all the top tier KD. Like it's pretty rare you'll see a team, even when a team's dominating a game, like there's going to be 1 or 2 guys
Yeah.
on the team that are kind of even.
Every time.
Like you'll see some guys just like go crazy, but it's like those guys are going crazy because they have the opportunities to get those kills. Not everyone's going to get those opportunities, and there's players like 04, in my opinion, who are creating those opportunities for his teammates. So like you look at it statistically, and you're like looking at it like, oh my god, like this guy isn't performing to the best. If you pick up another guy that may project a higher KD, the team could actually be worse off for it because if this player is not doing the things 04 is doing to create the
They're not
avenues and kills for his
enabling.
team,
Yeah.
then he's not an exact enabling is probably the best term to use here. Then the team might be worse for it, not be creating the speed and the pace around the map. They need to be objectively better and creating the scoring they need to win, basically. So, it's easy to look at these things and to say that what you're saying. I'm not like, again, I get what you're saying, and I'm not like, could he be playing better? Sure. I mean, you could argue the same for any player in the league. Realistically speaking, there's very few guys that we've looked at as like this guy's just frying all the time. But
Right.
I think you have to be careful when you single out players within a team that overall is playing really good. Like FaZe is like Ant said earlier, FaZe should have made finals. FaZe is on par and having a chance to win a championship right now. If you're going to make any moves that just purely for the sake of one player not slaying to what you feel is the best slaying opportunity, then it could actually make it worse and not better.
Yeah.
Could be detrimental.
And
Cool.
then to
All right,
tag
guys,
onto
well,
that,
appreciate your time, guys.
hey, thank you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
To tag onto that, also, what some people need to understand with the good teams, and like when you look at the team KD as Ray just put, some players are prone to the bad game because of the way that they play. And when the team's not playing well, it's going to spiral worse for that player because of the routes that he takes and the situations that he gets put in. Right. So like, it's just like things can get worse for a guy like 04 when the team's not playing well as well. Because he would be the guy you point on the team, you go, he's prone to the bad game. But that's just how COD is. And as you
I think
go,
it's because he's also the fastest, though. Like,
he is, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
he's
I agree with
a
Ray.
lot. Like,
So if the team's not playing well,
Like,
he's
yeah,
going to get slammed. Like that's how it is.
and you could argue like a game.
I will say though, I do think there are, that aside though, like it will definitely benefit him if he can get 2 or 3 more kills a map. I think like we've seen.
Yeah,
I
probably.
will say this is not on because I agree with everything that Ray said because you watch the maps as a parent that what Ray said is 100% correct. I will just add on to Ray, like we've seen when he does get it going, this is like their best version of their team. Like when he gets it going, like
well, that's the thing.
they
Though,
just
it's like
humble people.
it's kind of like the same way we talked
Like
about
it's
Joe.
Steve's.
Like
Yeah.
the way Joe has been getting some of his kills has been insane to watch, bro. Like he's a high impact, high speed player who's getting a
He's
ton
insane,
of kills.
bro.
Like if you have a player doing that, like in the same way you just talked about, like when 04 gets kills, like obviously they're the best for him. Yeah, of course. If my player that's the most high impact player on my team, like a Nep or someone, getting a bunch of these kills, then yeah, for sure, team's gonna look great no matter what happens. I mean, even like
It's like
like
when
we talked
Xnit's
about
frying on Riyadh or
Yeah,
like
same comparison,
Yeah, I hear on
same
that.
discussion we have, and it's
Yeah.
I think more so what I think we need to really like put a pin on so people start kind of grasping and understanding a little bit more about COD is that a player like that doesn't necessarily need to be dropping a 1.2 to be impactful. Like his 0.9 in the game could be better than another player who dropped a 1.1 playing in a much slower kill dependent way. Like he's creating opportunities for his team and doing things that are actually conducing winning conditions for his team.
Dude, Mercules has completely distorted and ruined the way people view COD players because he just has a 1.5 like every map feels like.
Yeah,
bro, he's
Syrup in the chat said Envoy had a 0.93 in the finals, and like if you
He
watch his
balled out.
POV and the way he was doing, like he was actually playing real well. And that's just the way he goes.
He's
Sometimes,
winning
bro.
them
Like,
huge search rounds,
And
taking risks.
if you want to give the most extreme example, is Dylan Theory.
Yeah, that's a
back in
pretty
the day.
extreme example.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Rambo.
I mean, I
Ray.
would put myself in that bucket.
Ray, cap at a few victories. We're all up cap.
And also, it's
sling number
different.
three.
If-
We're top one on those.
Yeah, Cap had a champ streak at 0.7. I think they made it to the finals. Wow,
Cap learned
Slasher's
from the best.
godlike.
You know, Cap learned from the best, bro.
Yeah.
But like realistically though, like a 0.9 is not that far off of 1. Like it's like
It's really not. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
like
that's what Ben
12
was saying. 2 or 3
kills,
kills. Yeah, of course. Like the 2 or 3 kills, if they're in the right positions, can make a big difference in the
Yeah.
game, right? Like that. There's no disagreeing there. And we're like, I'm not like again in a perfect world, every player that plays fast gets all the kills. Like the game's gonna be freaking easy as hell for the rest of the team. We all agree there. But it's just the reality is, it's obviously these guys are the best players in the world playing against the other best players in the world.
yeah, I don't know.
It's pretty hard to dominate at that pace.
I
Like,
don't know how else to
he
word
has a
it.
nice crisp 0.97. They're gonna have a very good chance to win every series.
I don't know how
play.
else to word it other than just giving in-game examples because I hope people talking like they all play the game. Like, bro, if you're 0-4 and you got a sub out and it's exposure and like they're in window, you're just gonna get farmed. Like, if you're on Scar and you're back green, you're just gonna die. Like, you're not gonna have the greatest KD all the time. That's just how the game works,
the way it
bro.
is.
Like,
Yeah.
we don't take that into account when we talk about it. Like sometimes those player stats are a team stat, in my opinion. But all right, we got the next guy in here. Witness, what up, man? How we doing?
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, it's not really my first question that I raised my hand for, but you guys were talking about, Aluka being on FaZe's bench. If you think back, Sib was on FaZe's bench, and I think he, turned out to be a pretty good player when he first got into the league. So I think they're doing a pretty good job over there of, developing players. Like he was like the first legitimate sub because like the Classic and stuff like that, but Classic already knew ball. So I don't think Luka's going to be really a problem. Then I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that, but
Well, I was
I think
referring to
that-
Ben
they're
here.
hold on.
Yeah, I
Hold
would
on.
refer
They're
to Ben.
unique situations because the Dante situation's very interesting because Dante year one got in a lot of trouble about some words he said on stream, and he basically was very lucky that Paul took a second chance on him because any other team owner would have dropped him on his neck. And the only reason I don't think he ever ended up on FaZe is because the next year they picked up Alec, had one of the most dominant years I've ever seen. And obviously, they were going to make a change year 3, and once it was free and he was he was basically on Seattle Surge like by the end of Cold War because Sam Phoenix had formed that team fairly early. Well, he did learn a thing or two because he was on FaZe Academy. So I just think they're completely different situations. Luke is 18 and like challenge is way more developed than it was.
Wasn't
back then.
Sib further along too? Like, didn't he play
Yes.
like way more turn? Yeah. And he like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he made the Challenger finals on the Modern 19 year. Pretty sure he
Yeah.
was streaming that. If I
yeah,
remember
so it's
correctly.
different. Like
Yeah,
Sib was
but I
like
mean, it's
obviously
the thought
like,
process there.
Sib
Yeah,
was
no, I have to say,
obviously next up.
They won
I think
Atlanta
to
and
that-
Tom.
I like what Ben was saying earlier, like, or I think someone said, like, what are they doing? Like, what is FaZe actually doing to develop the players in the background? Like, are they actually actively, is Crowder like spending time with them in the background? Like, is that a thing we think?
I mean,
That's
you
the
know
case,
Chris and
yeah, for
RJ, there's
sure.
no chance. Listen, knowing Chris and RJ, there's no chance of leaving that kid alone to just fucking fend for himself. I don't think those are the type of maybe you would know better, but I don't think that's how.
I don't. I mean, I have no idea. I've never
I
been
don't
in a
know.
situation like that where I've had a sub and actually been actively like involved in like raising that sub to a point. Like all of my young players that have come in were actually on my team to start with. So that's like obviously the product was to be in the CDL, not hopeful to be in the CDL in the future.
The only thing that makes me think they're doing it is like, no, I know Chris and RJ pretty well, and like whenever they've had a situation where a player really wants to have one-on-one, like extra VOD, like they'll go out of their way to do that.
I'm
even
just
if it
being
means they're
realistic
doing it
though.
at
Like,
10
how
PM.
much can they actually be doing? Like, I gotta keep it a buck. Like, how much can you really be doing? Or are they sitting watching VOD? Like, there's no way they're sitting watching more than like 3 hours VOD a week. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't want to speak out of pocket here, but like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know the extent. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if
let's
I
be real.
was in their situation, but if I was in their situation, it'd be really like I would like let the player know that I'm there for them. Like in the same way, like I was kind of helping out Stallions a little earlier, but I didn't really spend like that much
They
time
gotta help the main
actively
team.
with the team. It was of course. But if a player like comes out of his way, and like let's say a Luka, for example, like what Ben described, if a Luka went to Crowder and like asked, I have some questions about certain things, or can we watch
Yeah,
VOD
he
so
would
I
help
can
him.
get your thoughts? Yeah, it would help, and that's where to me that's like where like the experience of Crowder is obviously going to help a player like that. So.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
want
I
to speak
also
on it
wanna
because I just don't know, so I don't really want to speak
No, that's
on
my
it.
point. Yeah, we don't really know. Yeah, we have no idea.
I mean, I also think he has Abuza and Draza. If you ask him a quick question, also
Bro, those
probably
guys
one of the
aren't
greatest
like
players of all time.
they're just trying to
Bro,
get better
Zach-
themselves. They're not sitting in a call with
No,
a
I'm
Luka.
not. I'm not saying like a quick tip of advice. Like maybe like a quick conversation or something. Like ask them during VOD what they're seeing and like what they're gonna do there. That's just what I'm throwing out there. But the main question I wanted to
Zach and
ask.
Luka are two different people. The funny story is like I had spent a couple of weekends in Atlanta last year. And this guy Zach had his team watching VOD at 10 p.m. If you don't tell Zach to stop watching VOD, that guy's not getting off the fucking VOD. Like he cares a lot.
Okay.
Work ethic wise. I think to the point of like a Luka, where like he is as a player again. Green. I don't think he knows yet all of the plays to make for the win. How do you not like the FaZe staff, RJ and Chris? Provide help, but you don't want to override like the system that he might be playing in Challengers too. Like you don't want to give him, you don't want to like overcomplicate it. You know what I'm saying? Because if they have a certain way that they're playing on, say the Omid or whatever the next team he's going to be on now, they get dropped. Like you don't want to make it too
I'll be
complex
honest,
and
dude.
give him
I
39
hate
different directions.
speculating. Let's move on to the next question, bro.
Yeah, that's tough. I agree.
I don't because I'm sitting here talking like I know.
Wait. He didn't get to ask his main question though.
Oh,
Bring it back.
he had another one.
Yeah, that wasn't his main question. That was more of a.
Oh, my bad. What's up, witness?
That was just like a food for thought thing. That was just what you guys were talking about. Real quick, it was just like the whole Ultra and Boston situation. What if they just move past Kenny or Insight, and there's people in challengers like Geo or Brack? Like, do you think they realistically has a chance to get back into the league? Because I think Brack has been dominating challenges for a long time, and we know Geo's a shooter. So I feel like that's food for thought there. Like they could get back into the league, Geo being a flex and Brack being a main, or vice versa.
Oh yeah, there's definitely options in challengers for like AR players. I would assume they explore.
Yeah.
Like if they already picked up Kips, so.
Yeah, so
for
Ultra would be like
quantities.
a Brack situation or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
I don't think those guys aren't on a short list. It's just there are reasons why those guys aren't getting picked up. Either it's political or they think there's a shortcoming with their game. Like,
yeah,
I don't think that Geo and Wake and Brack and Fellow aren't on. We'll sit there in a fucking think session on roster changes. Like those names are coming up.
Yeah, and people want the challenger player that's like next up because they don't know what their ceiling is, and sometimes they'll view those other players like a Brack, a Geo, a Wake is like we know their ceiling, and that's it's a deterrent from picking those guys up. It's the same thing Fellow dealt with for a long time. It's kind of tough spot to be in as a player, but that's just how how it works.
It's how it goes. Yeah, how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thank you,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, I mean it's just hard to know what they're doing with Luka. What's up,
What up,
bro?
the Riddler?
How we doing?
Doing good, man.
Yeah, so my question would just be, I guess, around like the price of teams getting in the league. So I guess the rumor going around is that Boston would be able to, I guess, rumored sell their spot for $1 million to Barstool. And I don't think that would be, or should I say Bush? And that wouldn't be, I guess, like a good deal for Bush. And then I'm watching like the videos in Austin saying that there's going to be a point in time where the league's going to be paying them to actually participate in the league. So like my question is, at what point do you think the cost to get in the league will be, I guess, minimized to actually make it affordable for, I guess, Bush Gaming, or like maybe like Tom said, the Stallions to actually get into the league? That's like the first part of my.
Can I take this one, guys? Just because I talked about this on stream prior. So let's separate Bush from everybody else. They're a very unique situation. Barstool's a massive media company. They just fucking, for example, like probably signed a 9-figure deal with Netflix on distribution of their podcasts. Like they're just in a different spot than all these situations. And like I've talked to Austin, talked about it this morning. The thing for them about getting paid to be in the CDL is probably part of a bigger Activision Microsoft marketing conversation because they have so many personalities of everybody games, Activision and Microsoft want to market these games. The demos that Barstool touches, like that's a bigger deal in the cog of all things in that massive publisher world. Okay. But for like your other esport orgs, Saudi orgs, whatever, like the entry cost right now is pretty low. It's, from my understanding, somewhere between high 6 to low 7 to get in, which is, as far as what this asset would probably be valued, is probably like as best as it's ever going to get. So,
Do you
like,
think it's going to keep declining, or you think it's going to remain steady, like high 6, low 7?
well, it depends on what the market's willing to pay, though. Like,
Yeah,
it's not a
of
transfer clause. It's whatever the highest bidder theoretically approved willing to spend for a spot. If there's multiple suitors, and I'll tell you, there is a lot in esports right now.
I guess a lot of
specifically around the
Saudi
CDL.
teams, right?
I'm going to outline all of the interested parties, okay?
Yeah.
You have always the first class of people that are upstart in esports, want to get in or just got in, and they want to splash and get a CDL spot. Risky plays, not sure where they're at as far as their ability to economic spend beyond 1 or 2 years. Maybe they can acquire the spot, the assets too, but they can be willing to keep up a multi-million-dollar spend for 3-4 years. Who knows? Okay, that's class 1. Class 2 is EWC related orgs, right? Partner EWC orgs, because they see CDL as a cheaper investment with the ability to get EWC money from that, plus the MTX upside, another revenue in the CDL, like a C9. That's why C9 kind of got in, right? They're one of those category of orgs. There's a couple of other interested orgs that I've heard circling the scene, some of which are not North American. They're Saudi, or they're actually in Asia, or they're in Europe. That's part of the play. And the third category is the Middle East money, because they're starting to really see esports as an opportunity. It's not just Saudi, it's UAE money, it's Oman money. There's a lot of interested parties there, but they don't all have the infrastructure in place. And I think there's also a political consideration for Activision. Like, do they want to have a lot of MENA teams? As Falcons feel strongly about other MENA teams and orgs getting in. So there is interest. It just splits in those 3 categories. And then I put Barstool in its own separate world, because that's just super unique. That kind of give you the perspective they were for.
Yeah, so I guess my second question would be, how do you then combat the C9 paying players dirt shit just to have a league spot, I guess? Because, like, in the perfect world, like, in my perfect world at least, you would have, like, either, like, relegation or open bracket, right? So where C9 would actually try to, like, C9 could just tank the whole season and not have to play players shit and not have to worry about anything, right?
Well,
they paid for a league spot, and that was it.
Yeah, but then they would be relegated.
They still get to go to EWC.
Yeah, but they're not going to convert this to a full pro rel.
Yeah,
they're not going to do
like,
a full pro rel like that.
I know. But I'm saying, how do you combat the C9 joining a league and then not giving a fuck?
There's only one answer to this question. There's only one. Well, yes, that's one. But realistically, it's better due diligence from the Activision, from the other owners. I don't know the full approval process, but it's once someone agrees to buy a spot, it's like actually diving into their finances and interviews and really understanding how committed to this. Because if they want to come in and make plus revenue in year 1 or 2, and if they don't, they're going to slash their funding by 70%, like on a yearly budget, then you're going to run into this problem every single time someone like that comes in. You know, it's just doing a better job of understanding the team or the entity buying in and how committed they are beyond year 1 and 2.
Well, gotcha. So the leagues, we're just going to have to deal with C9 having a league spot for, I guess, for however long they want.
Hey,
until
chill
they
on C9, bro. They didn't look that bad.
I know. I like the I like the players on C9, but I also like a competitive league. You know what I mean? So,
well, yeah, we've been talking about this. I think Ben provided a lot of great insight. Shout out GM Ben J1. I mean, just absolute ball knowledge.
GM Ben J0. I don't got a 1. I mean, I appreciate it. I don't got a ring though. Like,
I don't know if you guys remember a couple weeks back, I called Jimmy and so getting dropped.
I'm claiming FaZe Cold War as a GM one. There you go.
But all right, Riddler, thanks for the question, man. Appreciate it.
I'll see you guys. Yeah. See ya.
Great ball knowledge just spewed from Ben there from all aspects of where the league's at. You guys need to learn more about that side of COD. Go to his stream in the mornings. Great entertainment. Who we got next? RMAC.
Got a lot of call-ins today.
Dude,
guys. Appreciate y'all being excited to fucking Minneapolis.
What up, RMAC?
Hello. What up? I was just like thinking, like, the fact that there was a team in Challengers. Who do you guys think that is like the best team in Challengers right now?
The Saudi team. They just won. Guy had a 1.3 in finals. They went 4-1 map count.
I mean, I guess it would be the number. I don't think there's a clear. There's no like Toronto.
I'm talking about like NA.
No, there's no like Toronto Ultra Academy situation right now going on where there's a clear number one, like everybody's chasing them type team. It's just a mix of 8 or 10 squads.
And I'm thinking like, yeah, and I'm been watching like the Bush and all that, and I'm like, these guys are insane. Like, how are they? Well, obviously, I think Benjay, I think you watched on straight in the behind the bush or whatever.
Yeah.
And Spark turned down that C9 offer, which I mean makes sense, I guess, in a way, because I mean more content. I feel like in challengers, they need more, and it's just that's the problem with one of the CDL, I think. But the fact that some of these players on the bush, like these guys are insane. Like Fire, he got stuck in a bad situation with Paris Gentleman's. Paris. P7 Paris, I think it was.
Well, so are the pros. The pros are also insane. Let's just start there.
So
like.
is your question like why are some of these guys not in the league right now? Is that basically your question?
Yeah, that's what he's asking.
Yeah.
Well, it's because oftentimes it's like I hate to say it, but like everybody's a shooter, bro. Like, I mean, we can argue maybe that's a product of like auto aim and whatever. But like the difference is probably because they either when the moment gets and the lights get brightest, they don't make the right decision, or they're just not a plus teammate for in-game or out-of-game issues. And that's why a couple of these guys have come and gone. You know what I'm saying? Or they just, when they get to that level, they don't slay consistently and they just get pack-a-punch.
It's a different pace.
A lot of reasons you don't see some of the guys that you think belong in the league, is for things that you don't see or don't get to watch from an outside perspective.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then the level of play.
Yeah, I just feel bad.
Yeah, you're lagging pretty bad.
Yeah, you're lagging out, bro.
I thought I didn't know if he was done speaking, but I didn't mean to interrupt. But I was just thinking, like, Fire, like he balled out on LAN, and then I mean he has a bad rap, I guess. I get that.
He might be overdue for an opportunity. It's been quite a while. Like there are some players you could say that about, but as a blanket statement,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
there's limited spots in the league. And also, when you have a team like you mentioned C9, I think it was last guy mentioned C9, doing what they did, it's going to hurt that a bit for some of those players getting their like opportunities. But like Fire's had one before, didn't exactly go his way, and he's been grinding back. And like, yeah, that's a guy you can make an argument for. But all the pros are nasty, bro. Like it's a different pace. You watch these guys playing challengers. You know what I mean? It's not like playing G2 and then FaZe and then Optic. You know what I mean? Like it's just a bit different. So I
have a second question too.
Okay.
Did TJ Haley make a wrong move and go in the surge?
I mean, potentially, yeah. Like,
I mean, what was his move? What would you argue?
To stay on Bush.
I think he should have stayed with the Bush.
He could have stayed on Bush. You could
stay on Bush.
You could say that.
But if what do you think the goal? Like, what is the goal of the players? Like the players on the Bush that didn't take the league spots, right? And granted, TJ's offer was probably
to make
better
more
than
money,
what
right?
C9 was offering.
Just to make more money.
Right, but I'm assuming Tej got a better offer to make more money with Vancouver than he did where he was before, right?
Yeah.
But it's
I mean, obviously, Surge is.
What do you think? What do you think Tej would have gained by sitting in challengers for longer?
I think he would gain a lot more better teams. I think would start looking at him.
Tej is a weird one because he has a lot of history, but.
Yeah, he's been around.
The only angle I could see is if it was like we're gonna win more tournaments and challengers, and it would make I would make more money in challengers. That's the only way. But if he got an offer that was like good enough to the point where it like offset that, or it would have been like somewhat close, or it would have depended on him winning like every event in challengers, then I understand why he made the move. But TJ's a unique one to that point because even if they were winning and frying, he wouldn't be the guy that probably gets brought up. You know what I mean? Like to like a good team. Just because of his history in the league.
That makes sense.
Appreciate your question.
Thank you for the question, bro.
Yeah, that's.
Bro, I'm tweaking. I don't know if I was lagging or he was lagging.
He was lagging, bro.
His mic was lagging.
Yo, by the way, Mercules is a 2.0 or 1.5 every map, dog. This guy is actually unbelievable, bro. He's so good at COD.
Is he still playing with no paddles, nothing? No, like.
Is he plays claw?
He plays like default.
What?
I thought he plays default with no paddles. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no way, bro. That's like,
Ray.
He's cheating, bro. He's cheating. He has me cheating.
Yo, Ray. Ray, have you
seen
people going back to PS4 controllers? I saw Sim talking about it. They made the AK one. I need to get that, bro.
Yeah.
Well, it's got the Marius because it's got the the Marius board. People are switched back. I think Sim was talking about this last time.
How do I get
he's
that?
switching back. I think Beaver, Battle Beaver.
Oh,
gets
I'm a
locked in. I think
scuff. I'm a
they're the-
scuff guy, bro.
I'm gonna have to.
All right, yo, you got a question, bro? Tony, what up?
Yeah. What's up? What's good, guys? I just want to. I don't know if you guys touched on earlier on the show about Shotzi limit testing, the whole narrative right now. I don't know. I missed that. My apologies. So bear with me. But what do you think about that? Him limit testing. You think it's a good idea for him to do that now? And also, like another part, it's like you think his 0.7 or 0.6 is like different from other players?
Yo, what do you mean his 0.7 or 0.6? Where did he drop that?
I think he put out a 0.7 online. Am I trip on that?
I mean, they're 2-0. Let me see.
I know, but like last split.
Oh, last split.
Yeah, but they had to when they lose. Like
Dude, that's a hilarious way to word that.
Did you hear the part where we talked about 04s and his like ability to be efficient, not necessarily with the way he's getting kills, like helping the team out?
Yeah, I heard that.
So I would probably bring Ann up as like he's the highest.
Yeah.
The speed he brings and how he plays has the highest impact in the game. His like if he drops a 1.0, it's basically like a 1.3 for someone else. Is the way I would describe it.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I'm not saying him drop a 0.6 and 0.7 is actively helping his team win a lot, but every time he's dying and doing something that way, there's some benefit to a certain extent. It's not like they're not like his deaths are worth a lot more than probably other players' deaths in the league. Am I backing the fact that like yeah, sure, it's probably way better if he doesn't drop those things. And I think every year I think he's at a point now where he also probably doesn't want to change the way he plays because of the successes they're finding as a team collectively. So if you were to slow down and try and like be more dependent on certain kills, it might affect certain other things which may hurt them more than help them. I don't really like. I think people are just overthinking it way too much. Like, we like to talk about individual players and their performances and whatnot. Like, I can tell you right now from working with Ant for the time I worked with him, there's zero things we should be worrying about Ant for. Like,
we also just said it. Mercules is dropping a 1.5 every map. How do you think that's happening? You know what I mean? And so the other part of this is, and when you watch, I want you to think about this going forward. And like when you're say Shotzi's having a stinker where he's going 17 and 26, whatever it is, bro, he goes on these streaks where like, yeah, he'll die 4 or 5 times in a row. He's got Dashy, Hook, and Mercules. They're gonna be finding kills around him. But then he'll have a life where he gets like 6 or 7 in a row, and it's just hell. And they rally 2 overloads in a row, or they put a team in an absolute blender, or win a rotation they shouldn't have, right? And so the pros just heavily outweigh the cons when he's playing that type of way. And he has a really good supporting cast, so Shotzi can get away with some things that like a Purge can't get away with. Obviously, there's a lot more skill involved there. Shotzi's a more talented player, but it's just like it's like a give and take that Shotzi he knows what he can get away with, and he knows like when he gets his opportunity, like this situation can become something really good if I get through here, right? So he just has an impact regardless of the kills he's getting.
I'm gonna tell you what, for how faded, just let me say something about Shotzi, for how faded he is in real life stuff, and it's actually a really smart cop player. Like, like it's probably the most bipolar. It's probably the most bipolar IQ shit I've seen in my life. Like he's 1,000 IQ when it comes to video games, but when it comes to the real, god damn, my boy.
No, the freaking game shows he's on, I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
They're like, what's the biggest river in the world? He's like, the Optic River? Shit, I don't know.
That was the best content, bro. That was the best.
No, but like, I'm not worried. I just like, there's this whole narrative. I feel like people are just taking it way too seriously. Like, I'm not worried by Shotzi by any means. I know he's like a really good player.
I don't think there's
rich people though. Fringe lunatic Optic fans, Patrick Price, like who? Like who we talking about right here? Like,
bro, I don't know, man. That guy's a go, but he's faded. But yeah, that's basically.
Well, thank you for the question. And listen, Tony, I'm assuming you're an Optic fan, you're a Shotzi fan. They'll be just fine. They just got grand finals. He played good.
Yeah, I know. I'm not worried. So thank you guys, though. Appreciate it. So low.
I guess the one thing that I would be, I guess, like if I was grasping at straws and there was something to be worried about with the Optic team, it would probably be Dashy's inconsistency at times. And I'm saying, like I said, if I was grasping at straws, but he's shown enough to me this game in search, and we know how good Dashy is individually. Like they're just gonna be fine. All right, let's get the next guy in here. Cowboy.
I gotta take a leak. I'm gonna run out for a second.
All right, we got 2 more questions, but we'll do this. Yo, what up? Cowboy, you got a question for us? You got a Shotzi Avi. I tip it. You're muted.
Hey, I don't know why I was muted. Sorry about that, guys. No, I just wanted to see, did you guys discuss the Quack Pros, the CompCod Reddit thing that he posted? JP reposted it on Twitter. It's about the ban and protect, basically the meta GA thing.
I saw the metas.
I saw it. It's an interesting idea. I don't think the pros ever do it because they just lose. I brought up a ban protect. If they can't scrim the same meta every single day, they're not going to be down for it because a bunch of pansy ass bitches. So I think it's a good idea. It's the same reason I like ban and protect, but the pros never be down because but they're just they want to play one way and one way only.
They beat us on this cheese run and gun meta. Like I also just don't think that would be ideal because we can't emulate that like really in I guess in rank play and shit. Like you're not gonna I'm not gonna get on a game and just not be able to run like the gun that I want to run, right? You know what I mean? So there just has to be the better aspect of this is if there's just an abundance of good weapons and variations like what you can use and be successful with in game, right? That are balanced. So at the end of the day, all these suggestions and propositions come down to like the devs making a good game and having depth to the game that the pros are willing to use. Now the pros have a hand in removing some shit as well. That's like maybe they shouldn't have at times, but at the end of the day, that's the main thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, boys, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Cowboy. Hey, Ben, that's what it comes down to. All those questions about that type of stuff, right? It's just like,
I mean, the league can unilaterally do it and tell the players to go fucking shove it. Like I've been a big advocate of that, you know?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as we've seen, is that my frustration with the CDL is that they're just not willing to do that. They're too nice and they shouldn't be, but
the guy brought up good points though, Ben. Like it's like other games, they have meta changes all the time, and we've talked about this so much, so I don't want to start a whole conversation about it, but we want that too.
It was a good idea though. It's just
Yeah. What up, Osh?
Yo, so I think with the Toronto thing and even Thieves and Vancouver, I think the way they were playing before with Kenny was more like traditional style, like MW3, in all game modes really, Surge, Hardpoint, and then when they got Nium, they're playing faster, and they're playing like more of this game. And I think same thing with Toronto when they make these changes, there'll be more of we're gonna play with pace. Even though we saw it with Abe, I think Real and Abe are totally different players. Like even on Vancouver, I mean Abe is pushing pace. Like he was on a 10 kill spree on exposure when they were playing, when they lost. But I think certain players and certain teams are trying to play the traditional.
Wait, Ray and Ben, you guys agree with what he said? Because I don't think they were playing faster with Nium. I thought they played like slower.
It's too early to say.
I think they were playing pacey together though, more than.
I don't think they're patient. I don't think they're patient too much.
I thought they were playing sometimes too fast with Kenny. I don't know, bro.
Do you think their wins were impressive?
No,
or they haven't played anybody. I'm not trying to shit on who they played, but I don't think Carolina and Vancouver good.
Carolina was close.
They 3-0'd Carolina with Kenny. They 3-0'd Carolina with Kenny.
Yeah.
So
and the other game they played, Vancouver's been compromised since Miami, and it was close. And I don't
Vancouver has won 2 hardpoint maps all year. They haven't been good at any point this year.
Exactly.
Compromised since Miami. They've been compromised since week 1.
But I don't think the players on Vancouver are bad. Like Glenn and Abe and maybe even Lunars, like TJ, okay, but I don't think they're bad individually. I think it's just a bad team.
No, I agree.
Like,
I mean, I agree with that. I just
like if you switch Glenn to a sub and you bring in like an AR that's pacey, like it could work. Like we've seen it work, but I just don't think they're gonna do that.
Wait, so what was the question?
I'm confused. Like, what's the question? Yeah.
Well, that was more my question of like the Thieves thing, like, or just overall. Some of these teams are trying to play like I feel like more traditional and like combat like teams playing fast. And then it's just auto backfiring on them. And then you have to pick up different players or do different things like Toronto Thieves, like stuff like that. Teams like that.
I'm not sure if that's the thought, like, because you're trying to find like a cause and reaction, like what the reason is. I don't think there's teams like actively trying to play traditional. Because I'm not even sure what that means when you say that. But
like more of like MW3 compared to like BO6 and BO7 are totally
bro, you
different
can't play
games.
that.
Like,
you can't play that, bro. The game doesn't play that way. You can't like.
No,
we get 2 breaks, then we hard rotate. Like the game doesn't play that way. Like
I know, but that's how Thieves were trying to play. Like
No,
one
that's
was
not how
together-
that's not how they were trying to play. What?
I'm not trying to.
even
I'm
remotely
not
close.
trying to shit any. I just don't agree with that. That's how they were playing. But I
Bro,
do.
what?
I think that they slowed down. I think why they found more success or one easier. I think like Nium was just playing the hill, and it actually like felt like they had like nobody was scamming as much. Like that was the biggest difference to me. And we'll be able to answer this better when we see them play tougher competition and time goes on a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if anything, it's kind of the inverse of what you're saying, and there was like slightly more structure and there's less scamming going on. You get what I'm saying, bro?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
It's easy to say like, oh, Kenny was playing too slow. He's getting slammed. Kenny was having a lot of deaths, bro. He's playing really quick. That was what it was.
But I think that'll work with how Kleenex and Joe want to play. Like ultimately, if they do pick him up,
yeah, probably.
Like almost like a preset on New York in NW2 where he was just putting down pace with Hydra.
Yeah. I think you just might be a little misguided on how they were playing, but thank you for the question and topic. Wait, Ray, did you want to go?
Yeah.
We just took that over.
No, you guys are good. You guys are going. I don't really want to go too far into this, but I kind of more agree with Osh here in terms of let's just call it old school, new school COD. I don't even want to call it like let's not compare the fundamentals. The fundamentals are still more or less the same, but the way you play Modern 3 in terms of pace is different than it is now. I think that's more what he meant. To more answer your question specifically though, I didn't really see too much difference as to how these played this weekend to how they were playing before with Kenny. I think Ann kind of put it best. Like there wasn't as much like lost situations to how they were playing certain instances because one, the players are getting more kills, but also just because I think Nium was way more objective based than what we've seen in the past. So what Ann said kind of covers it. But in terms of like, I think if we're gonna say that Thieves was playing at the pace that Gentlemates and the Optic are playing and the best
We'd be lying.
teams of the game are playing, we'd be lying. So to that extent, I think he is kind of. If you're saying that you felt like they were playing that way, I would disagree with that, Osh.
Like Osh, when you watch Nium, bro, I don't know what his sense is, but it looks like his sense is
I've
dummy
known
slow.
I've known Nium since Vanguard. I've known Nium for a long time. He's good.
No, he looks like a good player so far. So
he looks solid.
He can run. He can run every gun or both guns, and like he'll listen to whatever those players have to say. And I think that helped more than playing with Kenny because Kenny already has like a system or how he wants to play, obviously with certain teams. So that could be something else. Like we could just bring you in and go with what we want to play, which is probably more Hydra and how BZ and Scrap want to play.
So the last day of the month, Saturday, February 28th, they play Optic. So I think that'll be the first like real big test because next weekend they play Toronto, which again we don't know what Toronto change is going to look like, and then they play Boston, and then their match after that will be Optic. So I think Optic will be the real first kind of like tell to how things are going to look for that team in the long run.
Well, we got to get to this last question.
Their march is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yep. You have a good day.
Yeah.
You too.
I'm gonna bring this up real quick, Ray, because I want to ask you. So you think they're playing faster now? Like, what are like from based on what you watched?
No.
I know it's harder to like evaluate only two games, but I thought I just saw the opposite. Oh, okay.
I don't think they're playing. I don't like what I'm saying is I didn't really see like a specific way in the way they were changing with Nium over Kenny.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
I agree.
holistically, like strategically, how they were going about the game looked more or less the same. It was just a different player in Kenny's shoes, and that player was getting more kills / getting more objective time, which is the only real difference that was kind of looking at.
Yeah.
But again, I think we would have seen very similar results if Ken was still on the team against those two teams, which is more so what I'm like. I don't think there's real knowledge to know how things are going to look until they play a team that is actually like a strong force to play against.
I agree.
And again, Carolina has the potential to be a good team. It's just the consistency of what we've seen recently hasn't been the best. So,
Dart Brennan, what up, dude? This is the final question. Hope it's a good one. What's up, bro?
With roster mania happening, why are teams only looking to change players and not coaches?
Oh shit, Ben, you want to take it?
I mean, it's just change coaches. I mean, but it's so contextual though. Like we've kind of sometimes seen it before midseason, but it's got to be a really shitty situation where the coach is either. I mean, I don't know. This one, this one's such a tough.
I think that's only happened one time in CDL.
Yeah, no, it's happened multiple times. It's happened multiple times.
Oh, okay.
We saw.
I have so much I want to say about this, but I feel like hurt my business opportunities in the future
Fair
by
enough.
speaking. So I will hold my tongue here.
Yep. Smart man.
What I will say is that to what you're saying, and comparatively to like I'm a big hockey guy. I think it's the same with the NFL. But
they'll get
typically
fired
in
mid-season,
professional, typically in professional sports, the people who are the least stable on teams are coaches. If I'm not mistaken, again, I could be speaking.
No,
unfactually here.
GMs and coaches, because like, bro, if you make a move, like let's just put a hypothetical. Like, say you're the guy that was like gung ho on bringing in Riyadh, and it absolutely fails. Like in the NFL, that GM's probably getting fired, bro. Like if you're not able to recover. Like,
what I will say that kind of answer your questions, Brennan, is that I think in a lot of cases in the league right now, because we're so young and because the coaches in the league, like even myself was like, we're ex-players. We don't all have a ton of experience doing it. Like most coaches will be there to help. I mean, nah, I was gonna say something that I'm just finding ways like, bro, this is gonna get tactical grabbed on the spot, and I'm just
fucking yellow, Ray, yellow.
I think
bro, I'm still trying to coach, bro. I'm still trying to be a coach. I don't want to put my peers in trouble, but I think there's a lot that the coaching. Here's what I'll say. I think the coaching role is still progressing in a way where it's not the coaching role you see in other sports. Like if I'll speak for hockey, for example, in the NHL, the coaches are very responsible for how the team's playing strategically and structurally. I would argue that in COD, a lot of the players drive that right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the same for all these sports, if it's the same in other sports, but from my understanding, the sports that you see a lot of like washing of coaches and recycling and movement on that end are because those coaches are very much like they're the impact. Like these guys will either drive success for their team or not. And
European football is a great example of this, right? There's so much turnover in European football with coaches because, to your point, they have such a huge decision on like the 11 on the lineup and the strategy of the 11 play. And like if it's not working or they're causing like tension, it doesn't really necessarily happen in COD. Like there's only so much you can do.
And there's game management things in NFL. Like think about COD is like once the series starts, there's only so much you can really do as a coach.
You're not really impacting it.
You're right.
Like
Like
EWC last year. Awesome.
In like NFL, you can fuck up a timeout and ruin your team the game. You know what I mean? So it's a bit easier to be like, we need to get rid of this guy.
That's very fair.
Where in COD, it's a
Yeah,
little bit harder.
I agree, but I feel like there's a lot of options to coaches.
Oh yeah, there
Mainly
is.
team with Haggy. You guys beat Cole with fucking riot shields and in shotguns, outsmarting them. There's a lot of options.
Oh,
They're
there's
just
for
not
sure
looking
ton of
out.
options. Yeah, I mean, it's also like comfortability thing. Those discussions to even begin can be hard sometimes. Like, there's so much to this question, and I'm not even necessarily saying you're wrong. It would just be hard to be like, okay, maybe this guy could be a suitable coach. Like, how do we even like? There's no process there, right? Like in sports, there's a process. Like, we're gonna bring this guy in as the interim, then we're gonna talk to this guy, see if his concepts are good. Like, there's just no process like that in COD right now. So. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see that
it's
for
hard
quite
to
some
blame
time.
the coach, but if your team is not getting better, I feel like coaches should be brought up because that's their only job. Get your
that's
team
fair.
better.
I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. I actually agree with that for sure.
It is not a bad take.
Not a bad take at all.
All right, thank you, boys. Good show today.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it,
Have a good
I
one.
just don't think
Appreciate
we
it.
could speak to the process of how the like mid-season changes are swapping that out. But there's merit to what he's saying for sure.
There also isn't 98 different coaches on the unemployment line that you can just pick up and put in. It's a very small fraternity of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good show, guys. Banger. Another one, absolute banger. Push it 3 hours again. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We've had some issues recently with the processing time when I exported from Twitch. So I'm changing it this time. I'm going to download the broadcast and then cut it and put it up so it'll be up a lot faster. And then also for audio listeners. So I appreciate all you guys. Sorry about the delay in the last 2 episodes. I think it was like 12 hours in between, something like that. It'll be up within the next 4. But yeah, until next time, guys, peace and enjoy the rest of your day. Got some good matches this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Good shit today, boys. Well done.
Great show.
Good show, bros.
Early talks about it because I don't want to forget, me and Ray talked about it earlier. The only event Ray's might be going to, Ben, is Champs. We should try to do a show at Champs. We can
do a show at Champs.
I'll let you know. I'm gonna try and show up to something before that. It's just a matter of like timing and what my reasons to go. Right, like
that.
Yeah. I by the way, while we did this show, I texted Paul. I was like, "Yo, Paul, like people want to golf at fucking Champs," and he's like, "Yeah, people want to deal with it being 98 degrees outside." I'm like, "Yeah, people will deal with it." So. We'll see. We'll see if I can cook up a poll
Podcast
around
from
that.
the clubhouse. Then we play 18. I mean,
Stream the 18.
No. We got to play 18. We got to play 18 first because we got to get out like ASAP.
That's true.
Here's the thing:
Morning,
is
yeah.
you remember, bro? It's so hot. We got to get out at fucking a
crack
little
it
bit
down.
after sunrise before we melt. You know?
Nah, facts.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bro, does Mercules go negative, bro?
No, it doesn't.
He has had some off maps this stage,
Cheating,
but
bro.
again, it's not that big of a deal, bro.
Guys, I'm starting this propaganda. Merc is cheating.
Bro, he might
Starting
be
to-
cheating.
I will say G2 are getting ran in the scrim like pretty bad, but you all been there, bro. Maybe we don't know what's
He's
going on. Maybe
insane,
G2,
bro.
maybe G2's having a bad day. Maybe Optics got their number. But
I got
they
an
have been
insane
uncompetitive
pull
all these
here.
maps.
You know what this guy reminds me of from
Yeah.
way back in the day, Ray? Ben, you might not be as familiar. This is such the same
Yeah.
pull. It's a guy who I think went like 25 and 15 every map. Is Bouncy. You remember that motherfucker?
You were gonna bring that up. That guy's a kill whore, though.
Yo,
He's not a kill whore.
He's not, but like,
I don't think he was a kill whore.
but that
bro.
was like
I don't
good
think he was
plays back in the day. Sitting Magic Tree.
Yeah, bro. Nah, bro. We were smoking these guys, getting out slay back in the day. It's fucking criminal, bro. Nah, bro. Nah, I honestly, I mean, this. I'm using the word hate Merc here because I feel like if he didn't prop up when he did last year, we probably would have had a chance to win champs in the WC.
Yeah.
Fucking bastard.
This guy's unreal. Well, all right, guys, I
Yeah,
got to
he's
take
insane, bro.
off. I got some shit to do.